And we're back with another episode of Survivors of Tarnstead. We're going to start in our usual manner of introduction. First up, we have Blackheart as
Carrick Marsh.
We have Cronus as
Shaksan Rotskala.
We have Hadden as
Tilde.
We have Marcus as
Corvus Alalas.
We have Semi as
Gifton Brockgren Greyseal.
We have Tobias as
Caspia Pia. Steel shot.
And you have me, Yuli, as your friendly DM. I don't know why, while I was looking at the Discord, I kept pointing off in another direction every time I read one of your names as if like queuing people up. But I was.
We're all around.
I saw it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I will apologize ahead of time to anybody listening that I am going to be coughing a lot during this because my lungs are still betraying me.
Lol.
On that note, who would like to
yay.
give the recap?
Yeah, that's not yay at all. Bad Corvus. Do not wish
I
bad.
have a betrayed organ in you too.
I have
We don't say
Did
here
you
about
use your
yours.
lungs?
No.
I have no cards, but I did recap last week. Does anybody else want to do it? Otherwise, I will do it for card.
I can do a pretty minuscule recap and give Gifton the card if that works.
I accept this. I take pity.
Okay, in that case, take it away, Hadden.
All right. So last week we picked up from the previous session in which we were attempting to save a base here in Hexenreich, or rather, we were trying to save as many people who were in the base as possible. So we picked up after the previous meteor storm cliffhanger, and Gifton tried to counterspell somebody. We eventually learned that it was not the correct person to counterspell. And in the end, wow, I almost
Nothing
jumped way
really
too far
matters.
ahead there.
Yeah.
There were some fun moments. Gifton again tackled a number of the bad guys, not literally, but fought them. There was a spell turned on them, and we were able to get them distracted and almost.
Bombs.
Yeah, I was, as I said, I could give a very bare bones one, so essentially we were able to get some good damage into the bad guys. The airship that was on our side, but not our airship, unfortunately exploded as it was trying to help us and take out other airships. We had to abandon some people at the base, but otherwise we ended up escaping and flew away with several refugees. There was use of Magic Mansion to try and make it easier on our ship.
Okay. Alright. Any other things of note?
Well, in technology.
We now have a
Old
giant
magic thing.
focus.
Indeed, you do. You have a very, very shiny thing. Okay.
Shiny too.
Go ahead and if it's being handed off to Gifton, go ahead and take yourself a standard inspiration.
Spartasino.
Mine. Oh, I didn't type a number, so it didn't give me any.
For a second there, I thought it was going to be, it's a
I
play
drew the whole deck.
automatically.
Ooh, I got a card called Sabotage. Gain advantage on your next D20 roll, or give a creature disadvantage on his next D20 roll.
That's shiny.
That's a good
Nice.
card.
Okay, very nice. Alright, in that case, we will resume ourselves into the 3 days of travel that I previously mentioned you guys would get unaccosted. Let me just check what everybody said they were doing in the homework thingy. Okay. Where is this? Like that. There we go.
I don't know.
Open. Okay. So, so that you're basically going to spend your time assisting the others, acting as a go-between vocally.
Yes.
Yeah. For Telde and Corvus, there is, of course, some healing that needs to be done around. Not only were people just banged up in the massive exodus, as well as the vague fragmentation and shells that came over the walls and so on and so forth, things that slipped through the defensive shielding of the airship. There is just the general malnutrition and sickness that you get with a mass pack of people in a place that isn't really supposed to be handling it. There are quite a few people that are just generally ill, and I will check, do the two of you have things like, cure disease and so on?
Corvus does. He also has create, destroy water, get clean water. He also has purify food and drink, if that is needed. He has detection of poison and diseases. And then he has protection of poisons and restorations.
What about you, Telde?
I have lesser restoration.
Lesser restoration helps.
But unfortunately, that's probably the only one of that kind. I've got stuff like aura of vitality and actual healing spells and calm emotions to help out. But
I have regeneration and other shit ready in case anybody needs it.
Frankly, there isn't much in the way of those kind of grievous injuries.
We have to cut off the arm.
I will also ask, is the magical mansion being kept up each day?
Every day. Every day.
Okie dokie. Right, which will supply the food. Gifting with Telde's help, you can figure out, what things people actually like. Talking to Taldy, you can figure out the general sort of Hexen-like staples that make things more familiar and comforting.
Yeah, trying to make things comforting. Trying to I'm trying to make it so there's prepared food because I can. It easily covers 100 and some people, I guess, pretty easily, and we could probably do some with that. But I'd like to have some of the food just prepared and ready to go, kind of like a stew or something like that, and then some of it just being like raw materials that they could serve some people if they want to cook something. So
the thing is that food cannot leave the mansion.
Yeah, they can't. But I can make a cooking area inside the mansion.
Also, the mansion is far more comfortable than the airship is.
Yeah. There's no reason for them. There's no reason for them. There's no reason for them to run around anywhere outside the mansion, really. But they can. But they eat while they're in there. They don't take the stuff out. So I'm basically thinking crafty areas for various things. That way, people could be busy and food stuff because that's all I can do.
Right, so you get the mansion serving basically some traditional foods. There's a nice sort of ruler den going on. You got some schnitzel, that good stuff. Katzenspatzel and so on.
Stop saying these things. I want them.
Food that's a little unfamiliar to you, but seems to lift some spirits up. Cass, you will be occupied a lot if you're trying to read this book by the reading of the book, considering the length of time it actually takes to go through it. If you're trying to get it all done in this 3-day span.
A lot of it done. But at the same time, I'm trying to help out the refugees.
Well,
because
then I want to ask you, how many hours do you want to put into the book?
What is the requirement on the book again? I thought it was 40 hours.
48.
It's 48?
Mm-hmm.
48 hours over no more than 5 days.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was a week. Huh.
Nope, you have to have it done within 5 days. If you don't, you have to restart.
Okay, well, I will run 16-hour shifts reading the book and 1 or 2 hours helping people out. So 18-hour days.
Okay, that will actually put you on the third. Yeah, that's fine. Right. In that case, you and Gifton both can sort of run around helping people mend up clothing, unless I see mention of wanting to try and equip people to be able to do their own things, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to facilitate people, but I can't do it if there's nobody that wants to. But I figure most commoners know how to mend their own
Yes.
clothes, and it would probably be nice for them. But I'm also supplying fresh cloth, and I will sit there and make outfits. So.
Yeah. And well, basically, you can do both if you so wish. You can help people out and basically give people distraction measures.
I basically figure I'll weigh it based on what looks like it'll work. Because if there's a lot of people that just seem like they're shut down and they don't want to, I'll just do it for them. But if
you honestly get a bit of both.
If I get a knitting circle together, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep. You can do that indeed. There are a lot of people that aren't responsive. There are a couple of people that are literally just sort of catatonic almost. A lot of people that are just distant. Some that you manage to sort of get to come around, which feel like the little victories there. But there's a large group of people that just value the distraction, are happy for help. You are are you maintaining your human form through all this?
Oh hell yeah!
Okay, I was gonna. I thought it best
The last thing I need to do is freak them out more, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not whipping out the angel wings or the halo.
I will point something out. This massive refugees is, I'd say, roughly 60% human, and then a maybe 30-10 mix of elves and dwarves.
Mm-hmm.
Aren't many other species represented here. Towdy is a bit of a hit.
Everybody loves Taldi.
Everybody loves Towdy. Well, not only is Towdy's good with people, she and especially her own countrymen at that. But yeah, there is a little bit of. I mean, Shaxton would know kobolds are seen as a bit of good fortune. Just because of their association, yeah. Carrick, you and Shaxton will be working on the airship for the majority of the time, unfortunately, but for the last moments you can tear yourself away. You get quite some attention. It's a mix of reverence and worry. And not reverence in a sense of like faithful sense, but in that just sort of you're almost regarded as nobility. Which fitting, you're a noble, but
I'm nobility
yes.
in three different kingdoms. Great,
but clearly your visible draconic heritage carries some weight. This is both making some people a little wary of you, which is understandable considering what's been going on. But there are still those people that just have it ingrained in them that this is a man to be treated with respect and so on. But yes, you're all able to assist over the next 3 days. You managed to get the airship running again in not peak order, but it's not going to fall out of the sky. The engines aren't going to suddenly fail. You're going along faster than you were limping previously. Shaxton, talking with Claude and so on, this does need to sit down and have some non-running repairs to get it back into full order. Yeah. But you think you can make the journey just fine.
We got pressing things to do, but it needs to get the maintenance when we can.
Exactly. Right. So the 3 days pass by without too much in the way of incident. People have gotten comfortable. Eventually, they do spend most of this time within the magical mansion. Eventually, some do start to come out. Notably, the Hexenreich military survivors are more interested in keeping watch on deck. They mingle with you decently. There's that clear nervousness of your foreigners, and they don't know how to interact with you because this is your ship, and they don't understand their standing.
Whenever I see them, I'm gonna break into one of my honey mead bottles and offer a cup.
But they will take that, thankfully. You if you're doing this on your own, the first couple of times there's a couple of mutters in Hexamark that you don't quite understand. There's one of them that sort of looks down at the honeymead in what looks like a perplexed disdain, but they drink it anyway. But they soon seem comfortable-ish with you.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't really change their aimlessness that they seem to have.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
Shax would as well, for when we have like moments of, okay, you've done enough on the ship that you need to actually rest for a bit.
Mhm.
He would actually be going into the mansion, and Giffen mentioned she had like pianos put in, that sort of thing. He would actually be playing in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That does help.
And that he is to try and help with making things seem more normal whenever he's
Unfortunately, the only thing I can play is either straight instrumental or songs they don't understand. So,
Right.
And anytime he's going in there, Shax would be just to try and ease them in for the whole thing, be wearing his military garb.
Okay.
It's still like military garb.
In that case, if you are wearing that, you are sort of out of the way from most of the ships, and because you're down in the guts of the engine and so on. When you're sort of finally done with that, one of the soldiers is actually going to approach you, and they're going to give you a salute. Seems to be a this actually looks like this man is half dwarven. He's not as short as a typical dwarf, but he definitely has that sort of stocky build that is indicative of the race, along with the heavy growth of facial hair. And he just goes, "Sir."
Yes. And he will be responding in Axenrag, obviously.
Name's Muller. Carl Muller. Carl. You could call me Carl.
It is good to meet you, Colin. My name is Shaxon. Or Scala.
Jackson.
You may call me Shaxon.
You are... No, not from our base.
I'm not. I was on one of the ports when the entire attack started. I was fortunate enough to get away, and I had been one of the people assisting the Brass military in return for hopefully coming back here to figure out what was going on.
I see. So this is a Brassian operation.
Yes. They're hoping to help us so that ideally we might have something standing at the end of all this.
You think that's true?
I have hope. It is unfortunately in short supply nowadays, but I have hope.
The other men and myself, we're not sure. We're not sure what we're doing. Where we're going. We are thankful for the help, of course. But he just sort of like gestures with his hands a little aimlessly. And who are these people? Barassi and I know, but we don't know who our saviors are.
Shax will think for a second, and he will actually explain each person in turn, not giving away, like, not revealing Giftons of Fade, not revealing Carrick is, the
a dragon.
Prince, right? Like that.
Yeah.
Like, well, they know he's a dragon.
They don't. They know they think he's a half dragon.
Okay. Okay, but either way, he's not revealing any secrets that aren't immediately obvious. That sort of thing.
You're giving the
just
boilerplate version.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that they actually know the people a bit more.
Do you tell him where you're going?
If he asks, absolutely. Jax would give him that information. He would give also boilerplate of why they're attempting that. There's something wrong. Basically, there's something wrong with Morgani, and we are trying to fix it. And
he laughs a little bit at that. So, and it's definitely that sardonic sour laughter. That is, but still tickling him. There's a yes, something wrong with Morgani. I think we have established that.
Mm.
And Faramir, that is not a place many like to go.
But it is a necessity, and we have heard that they are taking refugees and treating them quite well.
Will you be telling the
That is a
people?
necessity at this point. We are hoping to, yes. At least I believe so. I know I would feel more comfortable if they knew where we were going intending. From there, I know we also are hoping to, once you're out of the problems that our people have with other countries' magic, once you're out of that range, I know we are hoping to get people somewhere where they'll be safer. That isn't just flying around on a ship and hoping for the best.
To Barras.
For those who would be willing, yes.
Yeah, he puts his hand on the back of his head, sort of scratching it a little bit and shaking his head a bit, and just goes, "I think we've fought so far as to rely on a country of primitives."
I can tell you, having lived among them for a few months now, several months, they are not as primitive as we think, and there are some things that we could truthfully learn. But
it's better than being dead.
Mm-hmm. That is, I feel, the key thought of if the opposite angle is either death or whatever has befallen the minds of our countrymen, I would accept that help any day of the week, frankly.
May Day, Tell Day, Dev Day, any of those days.
Thank you for talking. I'm going to go tell the other men exactly what is going on.
Mm-hmm. And tell them that if they have any questions or anything they want to talk about, I'm more than willing to talk.
They must check the civilians. You're going to tell them that we are going to Furthermere. Are they getting a choice?
Mm-hmm. We are going that on that part. Unfortunately, I don't think we can afford a choice. It is imperative that we get there, and there isn't anywhere safe between here and there to put people that wouldn't be putting them possibly in danger again. From there, however, we are hoping to those who want to try and figure out a way to get them to where they would want to be.
You must understand that many would rather risk it out here in the wilderness with this madness than go to the place where the dead walk.
I can understand it and I can sympathize, but unfortunately, the easiest way I can word it is this war is making strange bedfellows for all of us.
Well then, it sounds like you have made your choice, yes?
It is what has to be done. I will talk to my compatriots and see if they have any thoughts on this matter, if there are those who are not willing to go there. But like I said, it is, with the way our ship is handling, the safest option on the table right now.
If they are given a choice and some choose not to go, then I will stay with them. I'm sure many of the others will as well. Even that idiot Beck does not want to. We have a duty to them.
Jax will nod and offer his hand as a handshake.
He'll take it, clasp it tightly. Make sure they get the choice.
We will.
Those dear soldiers I pulled out of the fray really are taking it to heart that they're survived and they've got to make good on it. Aw.
And he will leave you be. Corvus.
Yes.
After a round of sort of medical checkups, you go off to find Echo. You find her sort of milling about. She's sort of wandering in and out of the mansion. She seems curious about the goings on. There's a couple of times where one of the others of you have had to sort of usher her away because she has a tendency to unsettle people a little bit. Strangely, she seems to be fluent in Hexenreich.
Strangely enough.
But
It's imaginary language. You can probably just imagine herself speaking it.
But you actually find her sort of watching you treat people as you sort of come away. She's just in the mansion, sitting on one of the many chairs in here, just kicking her legs idly. And she smiles at you as you come on over.
He's cleaning his glasses before putting them back on. What are you thinking about?
Oh, they're not shying away from you as much.
Do you think that's expected?
No, they were talking about the man with the dark eyes. As if he was some kind of boogeyman on the first day.
Yeah, well. It is what it is. Hopefully, what actions I do for them persuade them otherwise. And judging from what you said, seems like it is.
She just nods a little bit. Actions speak loudly.
Yes, actions do speak. About the eyes.
Mhm.
You talked about the Azovs being keepers of knowledge, storytellers.
Oh, yes.
It's very contrary to what is described in them, even in the arcane means of seeking knowledge.
She tilts her head a little at you.
They are always seen as a scourge, an evil.
By who?
Disaster. How the people that try to interact with them for.
How do they try to interact?
Initially, they interacted with them by taking their eyes.
She makes a sort of scrunched up face at that. I don't think that's a polite introduction in most places.
No, but it seems that they maybe thought that they were just monsters.
Mm.
And not anything more. Something that could be utilized and used for whatever gains that may be provided.
It's far from the truth. As of our travellers carrying messages between worlds, histories and stories. It's how a lot of the early civilizations of the vast span out there became aware of each other.
So are they so scorned now by our world that they don't consider reaching out anymore?
Don't know. Might have to ask one if we find one.
I've been trying to do that. Don't know how, but trying.
But if some other race beat you down and took your part of you every time you met them,
Yeah.
it might not be too communicative in the end.
Oh, it didn't help that I nearly tried to kill one as well.
Yes.
Or it tried to kill me, well, for obvious reasons.
Well, you've just got a communication barrier issue.
Yeah, and I thought on that, and there's too many limitations with that. I would be a pseudo-dragon with pseudo-dragon mind. That's not very fun.
Like the little lord.
To convey more than just food and emotions.
I could help you.
How?
I could teach you their language.
They do have a language.
Of course.
It seemed like they only communicated by telepathy.
Which still requires language. Thoughts and how they're structured. They all have their own variants among different species.
He chuckles. Is this part of the many secrets of the universe you keep offering?
I suppose so. I mean, isn't everything a secret of the universe for your kind?
Do you mean
Ouch.
our kind here on this world?
Yes,
That's
you
an
dream beings.
imagination of dreams, yes. That's the biggest rub, I think, here. Knowing that. I don't think the others feel that weight. If they do, they hide it better.
There's no shame in being different. Just means you have more to learn.
And that is what I intend to do.
So, shall I teach you?
Yes.
Grand. Okay. And she's just going to pat the chair beside her.
I'm already sitting next to you.
Another chair.
No, you gotta move. You gotta sit to my left.
Really? Is this part of one of those secrets again?
Mm-hmm.
Sits on the left.
Right. So, first, I'm going to have you start imagining some shapes. And what she's going to do, Corvus, is she is going to start coaching you on how to imagine certain shapes, then how to start to break those shapes, how to imagine shapes that don't exist. This is going to take a while.
The non-Euclidean shapes.
This is going to take a while. This is just the beginning.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Okay.
Square, that's a circle. Triangle, that's a trapezoid.
Right. At the end of the sort of third day of travel, after tiring times doing whatever you've all been doing, you'll find yourselves meeting up in the actual mess of the ship. Tired, exhausted. Even if you don't have to do any intense work, the entire atmosphere here is just draining.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
Time
Corvus
to relax.
waves away an imaginary shape he just visualized.
And this is
wave away the shape. It's like, Daddy, no.
and this is Carrick's way to relax. Wow.
So Carrick is serving up an okay meal.
He's trying to learn one of those Hexenreich recipes,
Yeah.
and he's like, the spice is just, yeah.
He's actually used some of his Saharan spices, and he's combined it with some of the Hexenreich style bratwurst to create something currywurst like.
Why does it taste like cinnamon?
Or was it chorizos?
No, it's not chorizo.
Well, the good news is if you put some ham in it, it might be like a carbonara or something.
Yeah, it could be carbonara.
I mean,
Oh, poor sweet Carrick.
it could be worse. You could let what's his name cook for you.
But yeah, you all find yourselves meeting up in the mess. Scarlet's actually sort of there as well, poking at whatever food Carrick has served up. And she sort of just regards you all as like, well, the uneventful days, something to be thankful for.
Yeah. I should be ready. in
Keeps
case
the
anything
routine
happens,
going.
Uneventful but busy.
Keeps us busy.
How are your folks holding out, Scarlet? Sorry, we've had our hands full with the refugees.
We're doing fine. Idris said she'd spotted some ruins off to the west up ahead of us, but looks like a rather burnt down village. It's something we could stop and check, but she's just sort of shrugs her shoulders a little bit. I wouldn't hold much hope for it. There's no signs of smoke or anything. It's long past.
Hmm. What do you want to do, Shaxon, in your country?
Fortunate truth is, I think if there's no signs of life, then they're either probably gone or so deep into hiding that they wouldn't come out anyways.
Hmm.
We should probably at least still get close. See
How
if
far?
maybe reaction comes from the village, be it good or bad. We're a flying ship. If we just stay close above them, they may see something that's worth checking.
If we go low, though, we just open ourselves up for attack if they're enemies.
Not too low, but low enough that we are not a speck in the sky.
You guys have your wind walking, yes?
Dragons.
If you want, we can go slightly off course, get you close enough to check it out and get back quick.
That could work.
It does let us go quick.
You can keep on moving and we can all get back on the ship.
Ship
And you
moves
can
faster than
still
I fly.
have a direction.
What if we idle for an hour?
Actually, that brings up a good out-of-character
Okay.
question. What is the, normal speed that we've been going?
Don't ask.
Is it faster than Windwalk?
Yes.
Okay.
Should we see if any of the soldiers want to come with us? Check.
Not a bad idea. Martin seems a little worried about the soldiers, by the way.
Why's that?
Says they've been, I think, about some of the vital areas, haven't gone to the engine room, but been checking it out, and keeping a watch on me and Idris. Probably them just being
They're
cautious,
trying to-
but
They're trying to keep themselves in a state of normalcy for something that is anything but normal at this point.
Martin's worried about a coup, and it's concerning.
The few I've talked to, that doesn't seem to be their intent. They have concerns. One of the things one of them wanted to be asked about is, are we going to be giving the people the choice of whether or not they're going to be dead?
You're breaking up, Cronus.
One of the things they asked me about is if we are going to be giving the people a choice if they are going to land up dead or not.
I guess that's fair. They might not want to go.
Do we know if we get into Thermir that we can use the teleportation?
We might be able to again. That's the hope. If we can, then we could get them right off the ship. They wouldn't have to set foot on the ground.
And
Go to Brass, maybe?
personally, I'm not comfortable with giving people a choice to stay and die. They might not be grateful for it, but getting them out of life should be the prerogative here, shouldn't it?
But sometimes keeping people
have to choose how they live.
and sometimes keeping people where they do not want to be, whether it is with good intention or not, will make them do something desperate or dumb.
Just keep in mind that scared, desperate people can make very stupid decisions.
You don't
I
have
mean-
to.
If they're forced to, what would keep them from trying to sneak their way back? And
Us being
Try
up
to
in the
make it
air
out.
until we arrive, I think.
I mean, which
No,
one
we
they're-
drop them off in Fairmere and they just go back to Hexenreich.
At that point, they're out of our hands and not our responsibility.
How far
Yes.
from Faramir are we?
Thanks to the engine repairs, we could be there within 5 days. Accounting for the maps being accurate.
Mm-hmm.
They should be, as far as I know. The country doesn't move.
Did you see a piece of floating island out in the middle of the ocean?
I agree with you on the most part, but I've seen weirder, to be frank.
Do we know if there's any alternate refuge, or was that like the last one in the area?
We didn't know of any. I mean, we don't know of. We have no intel.
Our intelligence is
Does-
non-existent.
Does the
Sorry.
does the military that
Anyway,
are
I'll
here,
take that as correct.
is the military individuals that are here have any knowledge of any potential refuge?
Have any of you asked? I
Reckon the
don't.
Hexenreich.
Yes, what she said.
I've been busy just tending to everybody. I haven't got the chance.
I think most people have been busy.
Honest.
Why don't you bring in that sergeant,
Bring
lieutenant? I don't know the
Yeah.
rankings.
I'll go get him.
I'll come along.
Okay, so
Come as well.
so the three of you go through the
I'm one of the people who they seem to want to talk to. So
Oh, are you going for one of the standardmen, or are you going for Sergeant Beck?
I was going for Sergeant Beck.
Yeah, Sergeant Beck has mostly kept to himself.
I know which one that is. I just don't talk good.
Sergeant Beck was the one leading the civilians in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was ordered to lead the civilians in. He's the blue blood that is very out of his element. Poor boy.
Okay. It's not hard to find Sergeant Beck. You find him in the magical mansion, seemingly crouched down, basically playing a very basic, looks like a little dice game with some of the kids from the refugee group. It just looks like to be a little game where he's got some little coloured squares arranged. Seems to be drawings of serpents and ladders on it.
I don't understand this game at all. It must be magic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna lightly tap on his shoulder.
Oh, he starts a little bit, but before quickly standing up and sort of brushing down his uniform and giving a respectful nod to the three of you.
I'm pointing at him, pointing at me, and pointing it out, and nodding.
Is she saying?
Gesturing at follow me.
Hello,
She's asking
Sergeant.
if you would follow, please.
Oh, yeah. Of course. Should she not speak our tongue?
No.
I shake my head because I've got the man. I understand what he's saying. I just
he's going to look at you, Gifton, and go, "My Burlesian is very good."
Oh, my Hexenreich is awful.
Yes, very good.
I say friendly in Hexenreich.
Freunde.
Yes, friends, and he's actually going to reach out and sort of take your hand.
Yeah, I'll take his hand, shake it. We'd like to speak to you of matters.
Matters. We can speak. Yes.
Good, and I will start holding his hand, start leading him out of the magical mansion.
There's the group of us, and as a captain, we all want to come together on a plan.
Plan to do what?
Your next steps.
Corvus, not in here.
We're walking out.
Yeah, what's this? Not in here.
Okay, you can lead him back to the mess hall, which seems to become the sort of impromptu meeting hall.
Yep.
It's not, he will say, along with, it's not good to just keep people out of the loop and just say, follow me.
It's fine if you're explaining later.
Yes. I'm used to it. We're in the military, no? And he says with a smile and sort of looking over at Shaxton as if, like, this is a funny joke, right?
Mm-hmm. Shax will nod.
She is learning to become a general.
Oh, you are a general.
General Greysteel.
I
salute.
I have never met a Barasian general before. Friendly. He's going to salute back.
Is this in the back, or are they still on the way back?
They're going to arrive at the mess about now.
Yeah.
You're gonna have heard a slight clank when you mentioned General Greysteel.
Amazing.
Day saluting at ease as I come in.
General on deck.
I would think a Barasian general would have bigger ship.
I was given my rank very impromptu by the king on the way out. We're an adventuring group normally.
In Hexenreich, he sort of looks over at Corvus and Jackson goes, "She knows the king. Is she jesting?"
We all
Shax will shake his head calmly. No,
we all
do.
They are preparing forces under my command back in Barast to help with ongoing issues. They know we are on the way here.
There's a little sort of got in him of the mumble as he's sort of comes into the table with the rest of you and goes, so what are we talking about?
I point on the map. There is a ruins of a village right here. We're discussing stopping to check to see if there's any survivors.
May I? He sort of gestures at the map.
Yes.
He's going to go over and he's actually going to inspect it more closely. Just goes, we are here.
Mm-hmm.
That is. We should check.
All right. Well, we will check. Also, do you know of any other holdout places like the place you were at? Or were you in contact with anyone?
You have he sort of gestures, sort of writing.
Yes, I bring out paper and quill.
And he's going to sort of lay the paper out alongside the map.
We know that there is a prison that was active. I don't know if you're aware of any prisons that are currently active with afflicted people.
He's looking at you for sort of turning to the others like just too fast.
Prisons. There was a prison that we know
you got the
of.
name. You got the name of the prison, right?
We haven't gotten anything about the prison.
You did.
Yeah, we get the. You got the name of the prison specifically. You did.
I'm flipping back to
because
where
I remember you said that you would have gotten it from your brother before he took off. Which unfortunately I didn't write down because it was something I thought you would.
Do you have your fucking memory thing?
He doesn't.
I don't anymore.
Hey, I don't have to give it to you unless you give me an intelligence roll.
Okay.
I want to say Gormangast, but I blame.
Nope, I don't have to give you shit. Okay. Yeah, you can't quite recall what Lewis said.
I know it because I found it.
Well, you were there for it. Oh, you've actually got it written down. Cool.
Yes, I have it written down. So, out of character, I can say in character, different story. It was Steinlock.
Yeah, Steinlock, outside of Esslingen.
I don't remember any of them.
Well, it happened.
It happened because it's written down.
Yep.
And I remembered it. I just didn't write it down.
Remember, take notes.
Very
important.
I do, but I don't.
Take notes of important things as well.
Yeah.
Not just
Something that
vendettas.
your character finds out specifically.
Not just vendettas. Take notes of other things.
No, I didn't.
The spelling might be wrong because I don't know if there's any funkiness with.
Yeah. I will be nice,
fine.
and I'm going to put this down.
Okay, I was close. I did a K to 7H.
All right,
See, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, I remember the whole thing happening. But
Oh,
you
wow.
just,
Okay.
You just went crazy on it. To be fair, you were in the middle of having your character have a breakdown, so I'm.
Yeah, probably didn't really click.
Yeah.
He's going to shake his head a little bit. Go. No, far away prisons, but none close, none communicating.
Do you know where Esslingen? I can't say your name.
Esslingen?
Esslingen is.
Yes, Esslingen. It is northwards of the capital.
That's not near here, probably.
No,
Okay.
very far.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we will.
Why does that sound familiar?
This is it's big town.
Do you used to live here?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I was a kid, but I don't even remember where we lived as a kid,
Esslingen,
except for.
Esslingen does not have a prison, no.
Okay. Well, there is a prison that we were made aware of, but we don't know where it's at. That had people in it.
What is in that area?
Farms, a very good brewery. Esslingen Brew is famous.
Gibson suddenly gets a look at her on her face and eyes widen and goes, "Oh, because not everybody would know about a military prison if it was off the map because they were hiding people that they shouldn't have there."
That's probably a good assumption.
Yeah.
He's going to look at her and then look back to you, Shaxton, and Corvus go, again, too fast.
Military prison, probably secretive.
She was realizing that not everyone that it would not be common knowledge.
Yes, probably.
Your people, we need to get them someplace safe.
Safe we were. And he's actually sort of writing down some names as he's sort of locating them on the map. And you see most of the names he writes down on the sheet of paper. He just puts an X2 next to it. They fell. This was month and to a week ago. Just puts an X. We were last.
It's been a progressive.
So there is no one left.
Not close. Transmissions have been short range only.
If we can get free of the magic interference, it can get your people to Barast. For now.
Then, a few directions. Look.
Or we can get them to Firmir if they want to stay on the continent. I know that might not be what they want, but if they want to stay and fight back for their homeland, it's the safest place to fight back in.
Options. Look, see here, and he's going to point on the map where it's marked out with mountain range.
Mm-hmm.
High up, interference weak, protection weak. Weak.
Higher altitude. Yeah.
Yes.
The magical interference is weaker as we go higher across the mountain.
Very high. Hard to breathe. But it is sort of concern. So military outpost, guard gate at the mountain base.
Does it still stand?
He just shrugs.
Do you think your people would be all right being transported to Barast?
He looks a little awkward as yes, Barassian. I like Barassians. He says with a smile, but many people think your kind are
primitive.
Yes, a kind word.
I am offended by that. In my several thousand years that I have been alive, that has never been an issue.
I must be wrong words.
Yeah,
that's why I'm saying you must be speaking the wrong words.
Very dry to say they're not the wrong words. It is a long.
But I think Baras is offering safety.
Yes, we have a noble house that is willing to provide and aid any refugees that come that way, as well as my own house.
Well, I think I could convince those that are not sure.
All right, we need your help with that. We have a mission to go to
Faramir, yes.
Faramir, yes. They have cured the ill dragons that went mad.
You are certain of this? This is.
We need to confirm it because if it can be cured, we should save who we can.
That's why we are going.
We are going there on a mission of hope for the people of Morgani.
Faramir is it's a good place. My father trade with them, but they scare people.
Yes,
they are frightening.
I understand. I am very scary.
He just sort of points with a little laugh, like funny general. Yes.
I'm gonna fly out the wings.
Yeah.
Gifton, please stop trying to scare the man.
That's the only fun I get.
Just gonna shrug.
What are you?
Primitive.
Corvus headbangs onto the table.
Perhaps
Alright.
we are more related than I expected.
He's actually sort of looking at you,
Yeah.
and
It's not like a lot of people didn't see me do that.
I mean, there was a lot of
He was
distractions
yeah,
Yeah,
going
but
on.
he was inside the fort when you were doing that. So
he's just gonna look at you a little bit before he looks at Corvus and Shaxton and goes, "She is divine."
Yes.
This is a very long story.
long story is going to be the catchphrase for band, I think.
I
Then
am afraid that is outside your level.
Hey, grade.
many things are.
Clearance.
Many things are. I know I am a bad soldier, but I good with my people.
Yes.
We wish to get those who wish to go to are willing to go
But
to rest safely.
Your wings.
We mean your people no harm.
Your wings, though.
Yes.
In Furthermere, maybe don't.
Oh no.
Oh.
No.
Gifted. Okay, I was wondering which of the two winged people used.
Angel, dead things.
Fine, angels kill things. We know this.
Furthermere is not without many faiths, but and he's sort of flailing his arms wildly as if trying to figure out the words to encapsulate a thought he's having.
I understand.
Yes, dead don't like.
Holy.
Yes, because they are. What is the word for the against faith? Bad.
Sacrilegious.
Heretic.
Yes. Sacrilegious.
Sacrilegious.
Vaguely amused at this entire concept of all people in the world be sacrilegious.
Yes.
Please, Gifton, tell him why it's really funny.
All gods say dead do not live.
Yet they do.
Yes, so sacrilegious.
Yes.
Telday
So-
does not crack a smile
But
at
nice. He says, like, putting his hands out.
Because he can't.
I'm going to say I am sure they are very nice people. I am not afraid.
Okay, good. Yes, I will tell my people that Barast is good place to go. It's not forever.
It is not forever, and we will help them get back as soon as it is safe. I give my word. My house will make it so.
We may want to see about getting Tally on this. She seems to be
Get Taldi talking to them.
good
Are
with everyone.
are your soldiers doing all right?
Yeah, don't talk to me.
They don't talk to you.
Even
We were going to see if any of them wanted to come with to go look for survivors.
even when before this all happened, they did not like me. So, but yes, I am sure that they would help look for survivors. They are good men.
Well, you can. It's unfortunate that it has to do this, but you can use this opportunity to step up and see about taking the lead on something.
He actually just shakes his head and gives you a bit of a sad smile and goes, "This is the time to be saving people, not for me to find glory or."
No, I don't mean that, but to actually just be around and present and helpful.
I will help look, but that is not because I need their approval. Just shrug slightly.
That's what I was told when I was in the military, at least.
I think he is more worried
We
about
are going to
helping
do everything we
than
can to help your people.
making
If you
any-
can communicate that to them and put their minds at rest, we will do what they need to be safe and happy. But we must protect the people on this ship, and we cannot land unsafely.
Mm.
So we must be careful where we go.
You are still going to let them choose?
Of course.
Barras or Faramir. Those are the choices that I can give them. If we find a holdout place before that could take them, I could drop people there. But I look at his list. I point at his list and go,
Not
there
much
is
hope.
nobody.
Is the only thing with the mountain outpost that it may be very limited on provisions and resources, being isolated.
It is also far away. It would be a big diversion from your course to Faramir.
As soon as we get over Faramir, I can open the way. Or
If we are heading to Faramir, then there will be more places we can try to communicate with along the way. I can give you our frequencies.
Would you like to come up and help with the radio?
I should not do this, but he's actually going to start writing down numbers on a piece of paper. You will not court-martial me, he says, looking at you, Shaxton, with a smile.
I am already not barely part of this military as it is.
I would rather help with the people. I leave radio to you. And he's just going to hold out. There are 2 small outposts on the way. If there are survivors, may have headed there. If they still stand, should respond.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we are going to stop at this one town. We will have the airship idle nearby. We will go down and check, and hopefully everybody will be okay.
If any of the soldiers or you know of locations with teleport circles that are safe, I can, once we get to an area that we can do it, I can send people to those.
Teleport circles, they are considered to be a big secret. Only know of a few and none.
None of the sigils. Okay.
Yes, it is just a place we would go to move.
Okay. Well, if we find any and we know of,
but
place, I will be willing to.
The ones I know of, he's actually going to mark a couple of locations on the map. I've been there before. I know it.
Thank you.
I'm guessing none of them are the path between here and...
Not between you and Faramir, no. Not to say that there aren't between some there, but not that he knows of.
Because we had discussed it previously and we got the map out. Is the map marked with the Eye of Morgani on it?
Carrick?
If you guys have marked it, yes.
Normally it is not.
Normally it's not. Not on this map at the very least.
Carrick?
Yes.
The Hexenrikers like you?
Yes and no. I think they are also concerned about being around me.
There was...
They respect you, though. I see their look.
One of the villages we took in, some from their priest was half-dragon. He caused a lot of damage.
Yes, I have seen what can happen firsthand.
Can you help him communicate about Barast or Faramir?
I can attempt, can do my best, is all I can
promise. Your kobold, Tardy, yes?
Yes.
Could she help as well?
Yes, we get Taldi. Get our finest faces on it that people will like. I do big smile.
Lift up Dingus.
I hold Dingus out for you. Lord Dingus at your service.
He looked at Dingus with a sort of a little smile and goes, "It's very cute. Not seen a sort of dragon quite like this in..."
I'm gonna whistle because I'm pretty sure Merrick's hiding behind the counter again.
Yes, they are. They are cute in that unusual way.
Unusual?
He's there's actually sort of fake look of desperation on his face as he looks to like the two he considers to be his countrymen, Shaxton and Corvus.
Pseudo-Nigerians are not common in Hexenreich.
Well, you see them in noble circles. It's just their bearing is the features.
Not as high.
And he's just going to say directly in Hexenreich to Shaxton in a sort of low voice, how do I tell them that they look like mutts?
Actually, I'm curious. I'm going to make my perception check.
Yeah, you hear that.
That would be because they technically are.
They're not. They do not mean to be rude, but.
It is understandable.
And he'll switch back to Baratheon, just going, Hexen like pseudo dragons, refined.
Oh.
I
turn Dingus around to look at me and go, and I point to him and go, primitive.
Dingus's eye. You turn Dingus around to look at you. His eyes follow like the direction of his head a couple of seconds after.
I tap Dingus and go primitive, and I tap myself and go.
It does that weird head lull where like the head stayed facing the wrong direction, goes a little too far the other direction, then back to center.
He looks.
So are these pseudo dragons essentially pugs?
Yeah, basically.
No, not quite. But yeah, we did crossbreed two different types of lines.
Basically, Hexenreich pseudo dragons are like your sort of direwolves. They're very close to actual natural born. They're pure.
Oh, so what you're saying is I should have brought the guard drakes with us.
Well, that's a different species entirely, but yeah.
Basically, Dingus's entire line looks like nobody knew what breeding practices were.
Yeah, Dingus is a dog that you will go, well, it could be a bit of this and a bit of that, and maybe a bit of that and a bit of this.
I know, it's like most of the dogs I see on the streets here.
But it's still a dog. It's still a pseudo dragon.
At least half
not a kind.
Half of Merrick's blood comes from one that actually would have been probably fine.
Listen,
Dazzle's pretty.
Dazzle's pretty, but even she's not a Hexenreich pseudo
Dazzle's
dragon.
pretty, but Dazzle's pretty from the Baratheon standpoint.
Anyway,
You're holding a dragon in your hand, and and he doesn't know.
Shit, I've lost my train of thought now. Fuck.
Success.
Right, so why don't you go down and talk to them? Send up soldiers. We'll get position.
Yes. Keller, the soldiers on board. Keller has good head on him. If you, and he points to you, Jackson, and tell him to lead the men, he will do it well.
I'm gonna carry the soldiers down for me, Dingus. You gonna carry them down? You're big strong.
Also, I'm gonna point something out that I've had written down in my notes for quite a while. And it's the reason I use the word primitive for him. Shaxton in particular, because a lot of you have learnt that Hexenreich is a second language, so it's not quite so strong. Shaxton, Corvus maybe a bit, just from growing up, it's a bit more natural for you. The Hexenreich word for primitive is very, very close to the same word they use for Fae, which made this entire thing very funny to me.
Oh.
I keep pointing at myself saying primitive.
That's mean.
Yeah.
But true in the case of the secondary one.
Right.
We should get things organized and ready to go then.
I will go talk to the civilians. Good luck if you find anybody. Bring them back safe, please.
We will.
I will salute him.
Right.
He's getting your Baratheon salute.
He gives you a smart Hexenreich salute in return. Don't ask me the difference.
I don't know the difference either.
Yeah.
One's with the left hand, one's with the right hand. Haha.
I think that doesn't stand
Oh,
like
my mind went terrible places. Okay, we're moving on.
Literally, all I was thinking was the two finger at the forehead thing versus the palm.
Yeah, let's go with that.
What's
So
the British one? It's like
One
palm
that's-
up. I think
depends on
British is
branch.
palm up. Oh yeah, it does, doesn't it?
I'm gonna go hang out on the deck.
Okay.
I have no purpose now.
Scarlett's gonna just go. So, changing course a little then.
Yeah, we'll
Idle
pick up-
next to the village, I suppose.
Cass is waiting for the guy for the Hexenriker to leave
Mhm.
when she thinks he's out of earshot. Well, if they don't listen to him, we may actually do have a mutiny on hand.
That's what I was. Yeah.
Because the other soldiers, since they're not including him, may be planning something and he wouldn't know.
There is that worry, of course.
Well,
That's
perhaps
all the reason for us to take them with us when we go down.
show them that we are actually helping. This isn't some ploy.
And see their mettle as well.
Do you want me to stay with him and try to help with civilians, or head with you all? Okay, Gifton.
Why don't you
Maybe
help
better
keep
with the
calm when you
civilians.
return?
Keep calm when we return. But we'll do that. You can start right now.
You get all big? You get all big on the deck?
Okay, thank God you said on the deck.
Oh my god.
Scarlett will stand up and go. I'll go find Towdy. Tell her to go down and help him for now.
All right, thank you.
Much
Thank
appreciated.
you very much.
You'll tell Edris
we-
that we're changing course.
Yeah.
Do we?
uh,
I mean,
Yes.
let's be a little thoughtful here, Gifton. Do we want to have Dingus go full dragon?
I literally pulled those 8 men from death. If they don't know what me and Dingus are by now, I don't know what to say.
Just the civilians that are around.
But their civilians are not going to be on deck. They're probably all down in the thing. It's fine.
Honestly,
And there's a bunch of civilians on deck fishing.
well, actually,
Yeah.
honestly, probably you or the airship crew have been keeping them off deck simply because it's actually not a safe place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we can put. I got feather tokens. We'll put some feather tokens on them, and we'll take them with. But those 8 guys, like one of them, literally, the 2 of them we pulled right out of the trench when I was full angel and Dingus was.
Yeah,
right?
I was full
So-
dragon myself.
And so
up there.
they know all of our shit already. So it's the safest way to get them down.
All right. I wasn't at the front, so I.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm just telling you. I pulled some of those guys under my arm and carried them to the
Okay.
airship.
So,
Is that the best to do though, or bad word? Sorry. With wind shape.
Well, Dingus has a saddle, so I didn't know what you wanted to do.
Well,
You want me to do wind walk and then do that
was
around?
the original discussion.
It was?
Out of character, yes, of me. That's actually what the captain suggested.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the captain suggested we wind walk.
Yeah, the suggestion was wind walk so that you wouldn't actually have to divert too much and get close because wind walk can go pretty fucking fast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
cast
much
wind
more
walk on
speed.
people. That's fine.
How many can you?
I can do 10, but I can cast it multiple times. It doesn't take concentration, so I could cast it twice. So I could get 8 soldiers and us. It's just I wasn't sure how we'd coordinate. We can't talk to each other while we're like that. That's the thing. But I will. I'll wait till everyone gets on deck and I'll cast Windwalk instead. Then.
Right. So do you guys want to try gathering up the soldiers?
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Okay. I assume some of the Hexamite speakers will do so.
Yeah, yeah.
You're able to get them up on deck by mentioning, "Hey, there's a village coming up. Want to check it out?" They do seem ready to go and help. So it's up on deck that one of them steps forward, one of the older ones of the lot. It seems he's actually got some scarring on him that looks kind of old. He's got very short, like just stubble on his head, where it's so closely shaved. And just goes, all right, so are we setting down? What is the plan?
Is he Hexenreiching?
Yes.
Okay.
So I understand, but I can't speak.
They are going to be
I'm doing
moving
speaking
off
legalese.
on different means. I think Vindvok. Familiar with-
One of them nods. The rest look a little clueless. Where they're the one that nodded will actually turn the others, and she just goes, the magic turns us into mist, travels fairly fast. They've seen mages use it before.
The ship will continue on its course, but it will idle away. But it's just for precaution.
A few of the men actually look very uneasy about this. One of them sort of elbows the others and goes, we will pretend we are air mages flying. It'll be an experience, he says, sort of looking over at the rest of you uncertainly.
Do they still have their kits?
They have guns.
They're saying that they'll be like that they are.
He's saying they will be like them, not that they're able to do that.
I am going over to the one that is talking, and I'm going to tap the gun, and then motion like clip.
He sort of reaches down to the clip and just puts his finger on the release, sort of eyeing you curiously.
Does he have ammo?
He does have ammo, unless you guys try to disarm them.
No, we didn't try to. But I want to point at the ammo and point at the rest of them, and say, ask if they all have ammo, and then I'll hand the clip back.
She wants to know if you'll have ammunition.
There's actually a moment of silence, and you can see
if they need ammunition, because we will give them some.
We are able to supply ammunition if you need it.
Oh yeah, okay. Most of you are perceptive enough, and they're not exactly guarded individuals. You could see it was that wariness of like, shit, do we tell them that we don't want ammo? Is that a dangerous thing to do? But when there's that offer of more ammunition, there's a little bit of relaxing before the man that you tap the gun of just sort of nods and goes, we could do with some more.
Okay, and I will nod the shacks, and then I'm going to start taking out. I have a thing of about 10 healing potions.
Mm-hmm.
They're low ones, but I'm going to hand them out to each of them, and I'm going to be saying in Baratheon, somebody please relate to them that this is an emergency heal potion in case they get injured, and I'm also giving them a feather token in case something happens and they fall a long way.
Corvus will impart that.
Yes.
Okay. You start imparting that, and this does cause some chatter amongst them. Gifton, you can actually see one of them, like, once they're handing the feather tokens, a couple of them looking at the confusion. The one that she talked about, the wind walking, is sort of flapping their arms at them. As she's describing what it does.
If you stop flying and start to fall, you fall at a much slower rate and will not take injury.
Parachute. I know that word.
There's a few nods.
Did you learn parachute?
I learned it when we were shopping. A long time ago in freaking Winded. I looked at getting
parachute of all words.
Yes.
And
Hexenreich.
Yeah.
No, I just know parachute. That's I'm assuming it translates.
One of them actually nods, seeming to understand this word.
Yeah. I will say, let them know there is a village. We are looking to see if there's any survivors we can help. We are trying to find any place where there are Hexenreichers or good places for people.
There is a village that we are going to investigate to see if there's any survivors, and we are on the lookout for other places.
There's
Safe spot.
Give refuge.
there's a few nods before the sort of bald shaved man just goes, which one of you is commander?
General Greysteel. I'm tapping myself, and I also say primitive.
Oh my God.
There's a couple of snorts of amusement.
Let this go.
We'll try and go. Do not mind the language barrier, but yes, she can understand. She just cannot speak. We're working around.
Yeah, there's a sort of amusement then before he sort of taps his head and goes, "It's okay, dumb soldier." And he just grins at you, Kifton.
I squint.
But yes, she
how
is
many soldiers do we
technically
have, by the way?
in charge.
8. Well, technically 9 with Beck, but
But he's not up here.
he's not up here. He is actually going to point at himself and go, Keller.
Keller?
What's another? Vogel? Moller. Leitz, Klosner, Warner, Wolf, Meyer.
Okay, that went really fast.
Wolf.
We've got a new
And maybe
color.
really-
I had all right, so I know Muller because that was the one I pulled, the first one I
Yeah.
grabbed, so I know
And-
that one.
And that was the one that talked to Shax.
All right, then I'm gonna point Shaxand, Cassie, Telde, Carrick,
Corvus.
Scarlet, Corvus.
There's a couple of exchange words in Hexenberg where they seem to be questioning each other before going. First names: Gertrude, Eldrick, Lutz, Amalia, Elise, Carl, Odric, Kristen. And I will just give you this full list of names.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I will correct naming thing and give it a thumbs up, and then
Is
go.
there... No, go ahead.
While in mist, won't be able to talk to each other.
We won't be able to talk well in the mist form, but we can revert back and forth. It takes some time.
Yes, if you find a safe place, we can do so. Make sure get everyone's attention. I make swirly motion with the hand. So if you see something,
Are we going down together, reforming, or not?
I think we go down together and reform.
Sounds like
That sounds like the best
I
thing.
think
Then
that would be best.
may I
but
suggest
if-
something general?
Yes. I nod.
We gather above village. We agreed on time to go down and reform together.
I nod.
Then say arrive together. Then the count of 10.
Yep, I nod.
Right, so down. Then 10.
In the center of the village.
Yes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And I
Center not ideal, but perhaps we.
It gives us central point.
It is best to
when
keep
I
together.
cast this, I will get turned to mist. Then I have to reform to cast it on the other group. Which group goes first? Because there's eight of them and 6 of us or whatever, right? Yeah, 7 of us with the dingus.
Out of character, hold on a second, objecting real quick to see if.
I don't want you to use baby gifting.
No, to see if the sim had it prepared to begin with. 'Cause I could just say it, and that would be.
Do not mean to be rude, but if we can see it done on you first, your
That is reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
I would volunteer to go first if that eases their minds.
better idea. To make sure it is
Mix.
same spell
I put
mix.
I put
Yes,
fingers together like mixing.
yes.
Makes the most sense.
And there's like I said, there's 7 of us, and then there's technically 8 with me, and there's 8 of them, so we do 4 and 4.
Mhm.
All right, and
Tested on Scarlet, obviously, just so she can have some fun.
yeah, she can just have some fun. I point 4 at him, and then I point 4 over at our group.
He nods before looking over at some of the others and going, Maya, Wolf, Warner, Klosner, and you go with them. Light, Mother, Vogel, you're with me. And there's some nods, and they just sort of vaguely separate themselves out, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I'll look over and go Cassie, Shax, Tilde, Carrick.
I was actually going to suggest maybe that would leave. Yes, I was just saying make sure that there's.
I have somebody who can speak Hexenreich with me. Yeah.
Yes, and that we split some of the magic up, but that will separate magic good. So that sounds good.
All right, so I do that, and I'll cast on those 4 they gave me, and that briefly I go Misty, and then I'll start reforming.
as you're sort of getting ready and you look like you're starting to spellcast, Idris sort of calls from the helm. General,
What's up?
am I starting the count now?
No, not
No.
yet.
Right. Okay. So,
Why?
but I need to know when to kill the engines, ma'am.
Oh yeah, we gotta turn everybody to mist first. After this next cast,
Kill the engines, right?
you can start the count. Okay.
Right. Okay. Hour. Right.
1 hour, yeah. And I will say, because this is right before we cast it, 1 hour, and I'm putting one finger up. I'm looking over somebody translate. 1 hour here and back.
We have 1 hour before we have to be back.
You get some nods.
Okay. And but your count starts when I cast it the second time. I'll reaffirm to you when I'm doing that. So I cast it, turn to mist, solidify, say when I finish this, and then I cast it again. Everybody, then we start. They start the count.
Okay. You get that fake call of like, it doesn't have to be exactly an hour. As you sort of fade off, and
yeah.
but yes, Idris will basically, doesn't kill the engines, but basically stops going forward.
Okay.
And you can all start wind walking. It does take
really
you.
fast.
It does take you about 15-20 minutes to travel there.
Walk.
Yeah. But sorry, my throat. But before long, you do come into view of the village, and it is definitely a burnt-out husk. And there aren't even any smouldering embers or anything like that. It is. It must.
Long since gone.
Yes. The only structures really still standing are those that had stonework within them, which over here is quite a few of them. But definitely lots of collapsing roofs, all that sort of general fire damage. Your group of mistlings gathering above the village and settling down to the ground and all reforming together with a countdown from 10.
Mm-hmm.
The soldiers...
Some go faster, some of us go slower.
Yeah, it's not the most perfect, but it's definitely synchronized.
We all jumped forward and started moving when the first person started going down. We know what we did.
Yeah. And the soldiers immediately upon materializing are hefting the rifles out and sort of forming up a circle.
Defensive line.
Yeah.
Throwing his staff and the rapier, so.
Are we assuming a threat, or are we going to attempt to do this peacefully?
Assume
we can look for people, but we're in hostile territory.
Yes, those that even amongst the refugees arriving in us, there were those that did not have good intent. And do not assume that everything is safe, even if they appear unarmed. Me and they kind of sort of points at the soldiers that were sort of split off with him. We will hold it square.
I nod.
Maya, take your team, fan out. I assume the rest of you know how to do as such.
I will take to the air and check in higher locations.
Higher location?
And Jack's actually kick on the ski and fly off, because, hey, it's the type of thing she's training for.
I don't actually know.
Gifton's gonna say
Let him go off. Show off.
Gifton's gonna just say softly next to right, but I don't speak the language.
That is all right. I will translate for you.
Yeah, you see Keller actually sort of shouting off his other team that's heading off. Remember, groups of 2.
I
Corvus,
think I'm the one that's staying in this square, or am I just completely missing which group's which?
Keller is saying that he is staying in the square with his men.
Yeah, his people are staying there.
Yeah.
We haven't differentiated off at all. Jackson just took off on his.
Oh, okay. I thought he was saying that.
Basically air recon,
Yeah,
so
no.
he can. He's the one who can also.
No, for Carrick,
I see this over here.
Keller is saying that Light, Moller, him, and Fogel will stay in the square and hold it.
Okay.
I'm gonna point at Carrot and point at Shaxton.
Okay.
Groups of 2.
Gonna
I'm making full emotions of 2.
groups
That
of
makes
2.
us the friendly group. I will
Take
put
off
on my
after.
smile.
Yay! I will go with Tell Day.
You don't have a smile.
Okay.
Nice.
There's
Very
Obviously,
I'll
I am
stop
Mr.
for a minute and
Potato
say-
Heading it, and I just have a smile magnet.
Which leaves Corvus and Cassie as the classic couple to head off together as well.
Well, I was actually gonna say, wait, I'm gonna stop and say, Cassie, do you want to go with Corvus, or do you want to go with Tell Day?
I'll go with Tell Day.
All right, goodbye, milady.
Perhaps you can teach Corvus how to smile.
And Corvus
Come on, lover boy.
casts,
The world.
Corvus casts a spell.
Silence on Gifton.
Oh,
Aberration, Cecil, Elemental, Fae, Fiend, or ended within 30 feet of. Yes, there is.
Oh, good.
Really?
It's 10 minutes, and I can determine where they generally are.
But it actually says rare, so there's
Yeah. Gifton, definitely.
gifted.
Yeah.
I have to choose a subject. I would like to look for dragons.
Okay.
Any dragons
You
in
as
the
well?
area?
Yes.
There's 2 in the air. Holy shit.
Well,
Yep, there is Dingus and
People,
Carrick, for
powerful,
sure.
Yep. I feel good
And-
about this. I feel like we spent a good amount of time on spells there.
Well-
Good plan.
And at this point,
What the, since I've got 120 feet.
okay, very nice.
Actually, that reminds me. If Gifton is teamed up with Corvus, who's Dingus teamed up with?
Dingus.
Merrick.
Himself.
Dingus and Merrick. Oh no! Oh no!
I am telling Dingus to guard
Team
the
food
soldiers
room.
for me.
Okay. Dingus will set himself on the ground by the soldiers in a very fierce posture.
Mm-hmm. I tell him guard.
Meep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to tell Corvus, tell them that if anything happens, Dingus will protect them.
Corvus will relay that.
There's a few sort of good humor chuckles. One of them might put out a bit of ration and offer it to Dingus, who will take it happily.
Don't start. Oh, no.
Well,
Excellent. He's being given his proper.
Okay. All right, you're all spread out. I would like investigation checks from everybody except those in the air. I would just like general perception checks from you.
Yep.
And that still goes on for me.
Yes.
Do you want just one from each of us, or like
One-
one assisting the other?
I will allow the groups to choose whether
wow, this town is
Yeah.
burnt.
I will allow the groups to
Yes,
choose whether they want to
okay.
roll individually or team up for one roll with advantage from one person.
Hey, Bucky, what's your bonus on it?
I'll team up with
16.
Tell Day.
What's this?
You have
No.
16 bonus?
Yeah.
Okay, I will
That-
assist you.
Okay.
That is a piece of
That's our
charcoal.
best way.
So I think you get to roll another one because I'm giving you
Yeah.
advantage now.
All right, yeah, if you want to give me advantage, I'll roll again, I guess.
Yeah, I'm.
There you go, plus one.
Ow.
Hey! I added Gifton's roll.
Okay.
Ow, I'm hurt.
First, I will address the aerial group. What you notice beyond just the general disarray building is that there is a church towards the sort of edge of town. It's not a large one. It's just a small local town chapel, essentially. That being mostly made of stone is still standing. However, the windows are shattered. Shattered in that way that heat does. Yeah. The glass sort of all exploded outwards. And the doors are blackened but still standing, and are barred from the outside.
Jax will
Ooh.
actually relay that to the group, saying, is cardinal direction, north, south, east, west.
This is through the east side of the town.
Okay, Jax has a burnt church on the east side of town. The doors are barred from the outside leading in. It looks like something exploded with heat from the inside.
Bards on the outside?
Correct. To keep something in, not something out.
Right. All right.
Can you explore it to determine?
Broken windows.
I'm actually going to ask the three groups on the two groups on the town, rather, I should say, what directions do you want to have gone? Because if you're working with basically two other Hexamite teams spreading out, you can cover the cardinal directions.
No, we're gonna go east.
Okay, you're going east. What about...
I guess I'll take Cassie west so that
west.
we're as far away from Corvus as possible.
in that case, the Hexamite pairs will go north and south. So heading east, you get that relayed to you, and you're heading that direction anyway. Telday and Gifton. It's on the way that Telday
and Cassie.
Telday and Cassie rather. Telday and Cassie, that Telday, you immediately notice that there are mingled with sort of footprints that have been left in the mud. Doesn't look like there's been too much rain here to wash things away. There's lots of scuff marks, hay scattered about. There's lots of drag marks, struggle marks, coupled with what looks like to be sort of bashed in doors that you can see. Not all the houses seem to show the signs because of the burning wreckage and so on, but you can definitely see signs of broken forced entry.
So when you say drag marks, it suggests they were pulled from buildings, not
You'd think so, yeah.
into a building.
You think pulled from these buildings, yes. Just the way like hay is like being scattered directions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which direction does it seem to be?
East.
I will relay that to Shax.
Mm-hmm.
And Shax will relay that to the group. He's playing relay for any information gained.
I will ask each of the groups, are you checking the general streets first, or are you picking into houses as you go?
Picking houses as we go.
Picking houses.
Okay,
yeah.
so doing door...
Gifton's constantly doing what's this?
Yeah, door-to-door movements. Okay.
That's another piece of charcoal gift.
Telday and Cassie, one of these houses you will actually find one of these ones that doesn't look like it's been burnt down. Not entirely sure why it's been left standing, but you enter and immediately you find what looks like to be a rather portly man, heavy set. This entire place looks like it might have been a village bakery. Is not the most accurate way to describe it, simply because this is the kind of thing where they're not exactly setting up stores. But this looks like, a baker, just by the supplies in here and so on. He is just slumped against the wall with congealed blood around him from what looks like to be a stomach wound. Clearly a dead man, has been dead for a while. If either of you want to do a medicine check, you can probably figure out approximately how long.
Want me to do that? Or
what's your medicine?
22.
Go for it. I'll provide advantage.
Okay.
Basically, anybody that goes with Telday is kind of providing advantage.
Okay. As you move over to check him, Cassie, you move deeper into this building, and what you find, are more dead bodies. However, these bodies have those very typical markings of the afflicted that you've come to recognise. These sort of star-speckled paint smears, some of it done in blood. Basically, these fervoured devotees of Morgani. There's 3 of them dead in here. One from just looked like he's had his skull caved in. Other just looked like he has just generally been beaten to death. And another that looks like he had his leg crippled and then a kitchen knife just shoved into his neck.
Yes.
And Telde, sitting down next to this man to check him, in his hand very limply is a rolling pin covered in blood.
He went down fighting, yo.
This is why you don't piss off the tavern people.
And as you're checking him, you think maybe he's been dead for about... Actually, that's a really good roll. He's been dead for 9 days.
And it took us 3 days to get there, so... Okay. It appears that this attack happened 9 days ago.
So about the time we made landfall.
And now, kneeling beside this man, that is when you will hear a very, very, very soft whimper. Almost sniffle, Telde. Sounds like
Not
it's coming from the
him,
wall
though.
behind him.
I am going to speak in Hexenreich. It is okay. We are here to help.
There is silence in response to you. However, it's a silence that is accompanied by, with your investigation check, it's a silence that is accompanied by the shuffling of somebody that's desperately trying to keep quiet.
Died on a door, maybe?
Or a hide.
All
Alright,
day.
so we send somebody each cardinal direction.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say quietly in brass, someone else is here. I think they are trying to hide. We may need to get one of the others.
We may need to get an adult.
Or we
And
can
the
just
dog
send
in
the
town
dog.
was woke up.
They're angry.
And the dog has come to save.
Or attack. We don't know.
Do you have any food?
Yes. And that's, well,
Do you have any
you know me,
pastry?
I have something to munch on.
Do you have any sweets?
Tess gives him this look of like, I don't want to answer that. And she's just going to pull out like a little hard candy.
Guilty, yes.
Yes, I do.
That-
I
Hey,
have
you're not my fucking
chocolate.
dad.
We are here to help. Again in Hexenreich. We have food. And a way out of here.
Give me a persuasion check.
One moment. Get out of my way, turn order.
I think that kid's coming out of hiding.
I mean, candy.
Yeah, alright, let's try this. My mouse double clicked.
Okay, so we'll be taking that first one unless you got something.
Yeah, in which case I will play a card.
Okay, do you want to just use that second one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll drop this card.
Okay. You say that, and then you hear a rather faint, weak voice, tone suggesting it's a young girl, just saying in Hexenreich, door won't open.
Alright. I am going to search for
I'll be a dead body blocking
what
it.
might be. Yeah,
Said, Teddy?
Door won't
the
open.
door will not open.
Cass is going to look down at the guy with the rolling pin. And she's going to kneel down and pick him up and like, come on, guy.
Okay. All right.
Protected long enough. And she's going to move him away from the wall.
You can do that pretty easily with your strength, I believe. There's that slight as the rolling pin slips from dead grasp. Where are you going to put him?
Is there a chair or anything nearby?
Yeah.
I'm going to set him down like he's past rigor mortis at this point.
You may wish to cover him.
If I had something to... Is this a house? This is a house.
This is a house, yes.
But we're in the living room, I would assume.
There's tablecloth.
Or you could go to one of the bedrooms and grab a bed blanket.
Yeah, I will do that. I'll set him down, and then I'll go get a blanket.
Yeah. Okay. It's a one-story house, so it's not hard for you. You grab a blanket, drape it over him. Telde, continuing on with your investigation score. It's not hard to see now that the body has been moved that there is what is supposed to be a secret cubby. Why this baker has it is up in the air. It's not uncommon for people that are just hiding goods, smuggling, that sort of thing, but not a usual baked goods thing. But there is basically in the skirting a little hole that you could use to open up what looks like to be a sort of recessed panel in this wall. Some of the planking is made in such a way to have a secret door here. Not a full-scale door, just a little square.
I am going to calmly state, once Cassie has covered up that person, that I am going to open the door now. All right?
There's a moment of silence where the child might be nodding in response before you hear a little sort of little, okay.
Going to try and open the door then.
Okay, the door is fairly easy to open up. You hook your finger in. Feels like there's a sort of little latch just beneath your finger, rather naturally as you slide it in, that you're able to nudge, and then you can open up this little hole. Immediately, the smell is unpleasant. And it is nighttime, I will say. You guys might have vision such. Are you using any light sources?
Cass, do you have dark vision?
I do not at this time.
So you probably have a torch out.
Yeah.
Okay. The torchlight casting into this hole reveals it's not a particularly large hole. Probably about 4 feet by 4 feet. It's essentially a very small hideaway. There is a small girl in there who is covered in her own filth. Looks like there's some bags in here. You can see bits of now sort of moldy bread, and a few empty water skins. And this very tired, bedraggled, malnourished looking girl that looks about 7 years old.
Going to hand fairly low, offer hand.
She lifts her arm, and you can see that even this is actually taking some effort from her, and a small hand settles into yours.
To scoop her up. She probably can't fight.
Yeah. I will then just try to take her out gently.
Yeah.
Oh no! Take
No,
her
not
out.
take her out, take her out.
This is a mercy. Right. You are.
Where are you taking her out to? And isn't she a little young for you?
Man, we've gone terrible directions both ways here.
To be fair, all of them are, but
Yeah, you're able to rather easily lift her out. And she doesn't particularly complain or anything. She just like lets you do it. Her arms draping over you, around your sort of neck and shoulders.
I am going to hand you to Aunt Cassiopeia. She has some food and water.
There isn't any particular reply. Maybe the faintest of nods.
Cassie, if you can provide her with some food and water.
Cass is actually going to go turn around and go back into a room and come back with a blanket.
Okay.
And I'm going to bundle her up and hold her close.
Okay, you wrap up
And
the
get her
filthy
some-
child and...
Part of the reason why I'm wrapping her up.
Mm-hmm. Okay, are you going to
And
feed and water her in here, or are you going to carry her out?
I'm going to give her the water first.
She
and let her have at it.
she will gulp this down, like, very eagerly, to the point she makes herself cough. Rather badly, rather hacking cough after she sort of guzzles down some water.
And then I'm going to break a little bit of the ration I have and give it to her.
That also gets devoured quite hungrily. As she's sort of stuffing that into her mouth, you can actually see her paws, her eyes are sort of lingering on the blanket-covered body.
Stroke her back and be like, shh.
Yep. Just
Yes.
hugging her close and just going to keep her, shift her around to avert and walk outside. Tilde, let them know we have a survivor.
Of course. I will pass that on in Barastian.
Okay, right, that gets relayed up to you, Shaxon.
And I will also mention the dead guy. So.
But before we hit that, we are going to cover the other time span. Gifton and Corvus. You sweep your own buildings, looking into places. You do find a couple of dead bodies yourselves. One of them is just looks like they were burnt in this building. But Corvus, a cursory examination shows that even with the burns, there were other wounds inflicted beforehand. This is likely somebody that died and then was just left in the building that was set ablaze. You also do find on the streets, looks like to be a dead cultist, covered in the usual marks of the Morgani crazed. It looks like they suffered a rather severe case of getting shot in the chest.
That will do it.
Yeah.
You know, the bad case of bullet wound.
And nearby, that was good enough. You will actually find what looks like to be a musket, just laying on the ground.
Like an old black powder musket?
Yep.
Well, I at least put up somewhat of a fight.
Otherwise, you do not find anything of particular note in any of these buildings, and you find yourselves coming up to the church.
There is the possibility, if you are all somewhat curious, that we could ask what exactly happened.
Yeah, I should actually ask, do you want to, examine the dead cultist body, or carry anything with you?
He will examine both the burnt body and the cultist body, but he was also hinting at speak with dead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick up the musket.
Okay. Examining the burnt body, there isn't a whole lot to find.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a little unpleasant. The dead cultist.
They died prior, probably before burning.
Yeah. You think so? You can give me a medicine check if you actually really want to determine.
No, he's going to believe that that's the case.
The cultist though, which one of you searching them? Corvus?
Which one?
Yeah, is Gifton or Corvus searching the cultist?
Oh.
I'm not searching a body.
Okay.
Corvus will also take an account of like their positioning and where they may have been shot from, sort of do a mental recount.
You think that they were shot? Actually, give me an investigation check.
Okay.
And I will let this count for both searching the body and the determining this. Okay. You think that they were shot roughly from the south, which is towards a set of buildings, which is about where the musket lay. So it looks like musket was used in the street, shot them, and then whoever fired that musket either dropped it and fled, or was grabbed and dropped the musket, or something like that. That musket. Musket's definitely the murder weapon.
Where would it coming from?
Where would the cultists be coming from?
Yeah.
You can't determine with that. Okay. You just know which way they were facing when they died.
Yeah.
But searching the cultist's body, though, you will find a few knives on them. This ranges from what looks like to be sort of kitchen knives to a military-style dagger. Most of them are covered in dried blood. Pulling off the sort of cloth wrapping the cultist has wrapped around their face reveals an elf with their lips cut off to expose their teeth and no eyelids.
See, I'm not that scary. That could be worse.
Their nails are missing. And I assume you're not going to strip them all the way to see if anything else is up.
No.
He ain't got no dick.
There is a small notebook, just a very cheap, tatty looking thing that has 10 pages in it. It is covered, like there's barely any visible paper beneath all of the scrawlings in here, which look like they are in a mix of ink, blood, and feces.
Okay.
Which are basically mad scrawlings to stars, praises to Morgani, and just other religious fervor.
I like how Corvus, the clean freak, is touching that.
Well, he touches it, opens it, is like, drops it.
But yeah, that's about all they have.
If we had hand sanitizer, he'd be using it.
Yes, he would. He does wear gloves.
Gifton, the musket is a bit dirty. It's been laying there. Looks well maintained though. And actually has a crest on it that you would recognise as you don't know what it is exactly, but you recognise the styling of a dwarven crest.
Gifton's looking at it the way that we have previously seen sprites look at guns.
Dwarf killed elf?
That's a small tunnel tube at the end. Huh. My eye right up against it.
Turning and looking right through it.
Yeah.
As far as you can tell, this gun looks like it's still being working order.
I'll pocket it as well.
It's a musket.
Just got back to holding.
Back to holding. I even have better than that. I have a quiver.
Oh man, I want Gifton to sew a bag of holding into an actual pocket on some trousers.
She would.
Yeah.
She really would. Just pocket.
Right.
Mary Poppins bullshit.
Want to head to the church kids now?
Yeah, I can head off to the church. Do you want to do your thing? You were talking about doing your thing.
Well,
you were making a big grandiose thing, like you were asking permission from a lot of people when I was the only one here. So, I just wasn't sure.
I don't think it will be very
useful. I was gonna say I don't think it's really gonna give you very much from the crazy people. Let's go check out the church.
There is the man in the building, but he is burned. I mean, as long as his
probably
mouth
the
still
last moments of terror of, oh God, they're killing me. Why are they killing us?
And that's not what it does.
Oh, what does it do?
It channels the spirit and whatever the body's experiences were, and in relation to questions that are asked. It doesn't.
So basically, you channel the spirit and ask about what happened, and like I said, he'll probably say, "Oh God, why were they killing me? They were killing me."
It's a very narrow window of view, but yes.
I mean, they might have useful information. I just don't know what to ask them. Because if you like, what happened here? They got stabbed by some cultists.
I know
Shot.
the errors of it. You need to ask direct questions and not vague.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, I don't know if we know any good questions. Let's go on to the church.
All right.
Okay. You move up to the church. Immediately, you can smell the foulness coming from the church. It is the scent of charred meat. You can see that the church doors are blackened. The way really thick, heavy treated wood chars instead of burns through entirely.
Yeah. Corvus puts on his mask.
But yeah, there is a large set of couple of bars, wooden bars, over the church doors on the outside, just nailed into it very heavily.
Let's
windows.
try the broken windows.
You can flap up and look in if you want.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay. You move around to the side where these sort of windows were, and you flap on up, peeking inside, and you can see just charred pews and mostly gathered at the door, some at the windows as if they tried to get out, masses of burnt bodies.
I'm gonna slowly descend. Don't open, dead inside.
And actually, in fact, I should point out front of here, those drag marks that are going through the village, it's heavily scuffed outside of the church.
They all come here.
Some sort of sacrificial pyre.
It looks like they were trying to escape the fire, and they were just burned alive.
So we could assume that the cultists won the day here.
I think so.
Actually, in fact, I'd also like a perception check, given for when you peek in.
Should I bother using my one card, guys?
Or Corvus can try to look. If you boost.
Let's go over that.
All right, so let's go over my 8th strength.
Let's go over. I weigh 160 pounds.
Yes, let's go over my 8th.
I think still more than 8.
That's still more than 8 strength.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, should I spend my card? Do you think?
I mean, can if you want. It's your card.
I mean, there's an entire whole set of rest of us here around too.
But we're all in different areas.
You can wait until people converge if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
You could also
guessing
just
most people would be
send
about
a message
the same
up
time
to-
getting through.
You could also send a message up to me and Carrick since we're mostly doing air recon anyways.
Well, I'm gonna do my perception because it's my one roll, so I'm doing it. So here it goes. Wow.
Yeah, that's good enough.
Bad.
So when you peeked in, Gifton, even though it's like smoke covered, hard to make out, it's discoloured enough against the rest of the stonework. On the back wall towards where the altar would be, there is a large scrawling on the wall that basically says awake. Freedom awaits.
It says awake, freedom awaits on the back wall.
Oh, actually, no, you wouldn't understand that because it's written in
You
Hexarite.
wouldn't understand it.
Actually,
Oh, you can read it, can't you?
I can read it. I've got my
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got the hat.
The hat. Thanks, Tarek. I have the hat. So yeah, awake, freedom awaits.
I'm okay. Be it my mild paranoia of everything around here, but I think we maybe need to start thinking about do a final sweep and collect, because either this is some sort of ritual to do something, or maybe
I think this happened a bunch of days ago. I think whatever it was, they did it because there's no smoke rising.
I'm just being cautious.
I mean, they're just slaughtering their own countrymen. That's kind of what they're doing.
I'm just being cautious.
You know,
Don't know everything that goes on with this cult that is here. We have bits of information of what they do and what mass power they have. We've seen weirder.
is it bad that I really, really wish I could ask the Immor Angels to not take any souls up to Morgani's heaven?
I mean, are they?
I don't know. What do I look like? Angel police?
You're
More than the rest of us.
yes, you're more of an angel than the rest of us.
That wasn't in character.
I
wasn't here.
I didn't say police.
All right. Well, all right. Why don't we rejoin the others? I'm gonna listen to Angel Radio on the way.
Okay. It's about this time that Jackson's relay or the message will actually reach you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Shaxton, as you sort of relaying that to the entire team, you can see the Hexenreichers starting to move back towards town centre. One of them had sort of vanished into the tree line, seemingly following something out of the town. The others just doing their own sweep of buildings, but they are moving back towards town square.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they're returning back.
Yeah, your search is taking you about 20 minutes at this point.
So we're encroaching on our time.
Yeah. Unfortunately, beyond the surviving child and the evidence of slaughter, that is about all you have found. And you're fairly confident that is all there is to find.
Jax, without you realizing, I think that what we have found is all that we are going versus and the empty hands of the others.
Mm-hmm.
Let's think about rejoining and getting out soon. I don't want to stay here any longer than needs to be done.
I'll offer my arms over to Cassie for child.
Cassie is holding on to child.
As you all sort of arrive back at the town square, meeting back up, you can see a few of the soldiers' expressions soften. Some look a little pained at the sight of this child. The returning soldiers, one team shakes their head, the other sort of points towards the northwards, where we followed what looked like to be the hoof marks on the ground. We found horses slaughtered, and he quietens his voice as he looks towards the young girl. Civilians nailed to trees.
I shake my head in kind of disgust. I look over at Corvus. Tell them we found people barred and burned in the church alive.
Quietly.
Yeah. I'm saying that in veracity.
There is a large amount of the population inside the church likely burned alive. And scribbling on the walls suggesting it was by.
There's a sort of mix of reactions amongst soldiers. Some just become sullen. You can see anger on a couple of faces. Mauler actually sort of moves off from the group a bit, and you see him just starting to curse and like basically punch at the air, just outletting the clear anger and upset that he feels.
Do we get told the exact scribbling either through transmission?
I will say it in Veracian. I will say
that bring up memories for me?
Yeah.
Back to what, okay, similar to what,
If they describe the body as well,
he wouldn't
Yeah.
describe the body
you wouldn't.
yet.
Okay.
Not yet.
I will describe it quietly to Carrick and Baratheon because most people can't.
Mhm.
There's nobody here other than our group that speaks Baratheon, as far as I know, because none of the soldiers speak it. So I'll just I'll describe it quickly.
Yeah, this definitely rings bells, Carrick.
that sounds like Talia's dad.
We need to get going.
Yes.
Need to leave.
Characters start concentrating for the. Oh,
That's why I'm offering my arms out for the child to cast.
who flies the best?
While you're actually sort of getting ready to depart, you see Keller's actually looking through his men and it's like, okay, well, won't want to find shovels. We could give them a decent burial at the very least. Let Muller take the others. We'll clear the church.
I look over and go, question, what they doing?
They are wanting to bury the dead.
That's a lot. We have to go.
Jax will actually walk over Bruce Hendersley. I'm afraid to say that we do not have the time. We have to get back to.
There's a moment of rage on Keller's face before it calms, and he just slumps his shoulders and nods. Right.
Jax will actually tighten his hand on his shoulder and say, I understand your anger. I understand it. Do not think I. But we have to do what we can for the people who are still here.
Right. Belado's orders and gather up. We're heading back to the airship. At least like she actually looks at because we can't leave them. They deserve a burial at the very least. We have to go. The living take precedence over the dead. Form up. And somewhat reluctantly for some of them, the soldiers do gather back up.
I could hollow the ground.
I technically have movers prepared, but it would still take too much time.
Yeah.
It's just moving the bodies and everything. Yeah.
Moving the bodies. Even if I make the trench instant, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, Cassie, we need the child.
Oh, the casting takes 24 hours. Never mind.
Cass will reluctantly hand over the little girl.
I'm going to speak calmly in Hexenreich at that time. This is Gifton. She's going to help you come with us to a safer place.
The young girl seems to have no fight in her. She does not struggle or complain when she's moved.
Mm-hmm.
Still not going to have
that
happen
with her.
without.
Back to you as soon as you're on the airship. I just got wings. I can carry her. I can carry a child.
Alright.
Would it be faster if I did, though?
She might be scared of dragons.
Gifton has the child. Let's go.
I'm just thinking she might be scared of dragons. There's been a lot going on.
One of the soldiers at least will actually come up to you, Gifton, and it's just sort of looking at the child, sort of reached out, touching their shoulder, and he said, "Okay, this nice lady, she will keep you safe."
I want to put my feather token on them just in case for good luck. Yes, I will nod and I'll start flapping up.
Okay, all right,
and I'll follow the mist there.
Okay. Right, so everybody is going to, set Gifton, reform into mist, and you start heading back to the airship. Are you? I will say the soldiers seem to, in their mess form, keep pace with Gifton rather than moving at full tilt.
Mm-hmm.
What about everyone else?
Jax will do the same.
Yeah. Corvus will go a little ahead, but not far.
Okay.
Cass is staying with everyone.
Right.
Actually,
I'm
the
also
best way
going to try and be
would be to have
ahead, so-
Dingus carry the child.
But You
'Cause
did
instead of
just
dragon-
talk about
yeah.
dread.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying him go dragon form. He has the pseudo dragon. He literally
That's its
grab him
own
by the back
terror,
of
I
his shirt.
think.
He's still kind of a dragony
Yeah,
thing as
I was
well.
gonna say,
Well, and-
at that point, it's better for me to just pick her up by
But-
hand because I can't pick her up.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause she's
think
still
I
tiny.
think this is perhaps the most comforting way to do it.
Yeah, it's doing the most. And also, it's not as fast, so it's not gonna upset
Yeah.
her. So I'll take an
Okay.
easy pace of cradling her
Yeah.
like I cradle my own kids.
What with sprint and so on is your move speed, Gifton?
As a flying human, which made me look because I'm not solar mode, I think I go 50 around.
50 round? Okay.
Or for no 50 per move. So with sprint, I'd go 100.
Okay. Right. So this does take a while longer to get back. In fact,
Yeah, six times as
Yeah.
long.
yeah.
If that's the case, Shax would radio to them on the ship saying we are going to be taking a bit longer. We have found somebody.
Okay, so you're gonna reform
wait.
yourself.
Well,
Yeah, how
before we
long
went.
is mist form applied?
8 hours.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Fine,
Yeah, that
fine.
time is not pressing. It's
It's the ship.
you can radio ahead and you just get a confirmation. Okay, well, hurry back as much as you can. But yes, you make the journey back. Taking you a good couple hours of flying. Thankfully, the child is wrapped up. You guys staying low against the tree line, or
Probably the safest.
Yeah.
okay? All right. I'm gonna call for a luck roll. High or low?
Low.
You want low?
Mm-hmm.
A 9, just fucking lucky. Okay. You,
Low's never failed me.
yeah, you do not encounter anything bad on your way back. After some travel, you see the airship ahead and move upwards, gifting you a light on it. The mist settling around you, and everybody can reform.
As soon as Cassie reforms, I'm going to hand the child over, and Gifton looks actually a little sore and tired because
That's a long flight.
it's a long flight, and that was a lot of weight because I'm not that strong.
Mhm.
I can carry a kid, but that's about it.
Right.
Can't pick up Corvus. Those arms.
As you hand the child,
260 pounds without your gear.
Yeah.
as you hand off the child to Cassie, Elise is actually moving up to you, Cass, and she's actually speaking to the child, and actually puts an arm around you as if like we're going together.
Okay, who was that?
Elise, like one of the soldiers.
One of the soldiers that
Yep.
was with us.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get her a good bath, and there's some good berries on the way down.
Light.
One
foods,
good berry.
and water.
One good berry. Only one.
She's actually
Shax will relay that information.
okay. She's lights and nods, then points to your office and goes, "Doctor, yes."
Yes, yes.
And she just motions her finger as if you're coming with us. She's giving your officer a look.
I'm already
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Yeah. So Cass, Elise, and Corvus will head down towards the mansion with the child.
Lean on the rail for a minute, catching my breath, and so Scarlet, get us out of here.
Scarlet is not on deck.
All right,
Idris is on deck.
Idris, get us out of here.
Oh, Idris is being able to.
It's nighttime. That's
I
why.
like to think that Scarlet was still having, and Idris just looked a little hurt.
Yeah.
Just mumbling as she gets the engines into full gear, and the airship starts moving again.
It's like I'm the pilot.
I'm
Okay.
gonna look over at the soldiers and give them a nod, and I will say I'm sorry in Hexenreich because I'm pretty sure Talby taught me that one.
The soldiers just sort of look at you, some giving understanding nods, others not responding, but it just doesn't look like they're scornful of you, it's just they're drained. And Keller actually sort of just motions to them, "Oh, go get some rest, done enough tonight," and they'll sort of nod and they'll just start to filter down below deck. Keller standing with the rest of you, sort sort of shoulders his rifle. Yeah, the strap, not raising it to shoot. I will specify. And just lets out a sort of slow sigh. Thank you for stopping and looking.
I'm going to nod.
I'm sorry, there's more we cannot do for them when we were there.
He just shakes his head. You are right. Time is pressing. It's better.
Tell him we are trying to find any other Hexenreich bases that are safe.
She said to tell you that we are trying to find any other bases that are safe. Options for people.
He nods. We're going. You really intend to see these people safe?
Nod.
Yes.
He just nods as if affirming something to himself. We're going. Good. Then we will help as best we can.
And I will turn to Shaxton and say, if they can think of anything, let us know. We would investigate any option that is safe and would not risk these people.
She says as well that if you can think of any options that would be safe, that we will do our best to investigate it to help.
There is little that I know. Beck maybe would have some comm channels, but not us.
He gave us the comm channels he had and some information that he knew, but unfortunately there are many things that are not known to the common soldier.
Ask him if he has heard anything about the curing in Faramir.
She also wants to know, have you heard anything about the curing in the land of the Faramir?
He just shakes his head. No, not a thing.
Tell him we have heard that they cured a dragon of the madness.
We have heard they cured a dragon of the madness. That is the reason that we are headed there to investigate.
And if the dead turn out to be unfriendly, you will keep our people safe still.
We will keep your people safe still.
They do not need to leave the airship. You can tell him that.
She says they do not need to leave the airship.
Then, like fools, we shall put our trust in the dead and hope they can help us.
Gifton will nod gravely to this. And I'll pop a salute to the guy.
He just gives you a sort of tired nod and actually just reaches his hand out.
Nope, I'll offer my hand.
Good person, General Greysteel.
Tell him I reciprocate.
I assume Shaxton relays.
I'm assuming Shaxton relays.
Shax will reciprocate, sorry. Relay
that. He just goes, of course.
This is Warner? Or
this is Keller.
Keller, yeah, that's right, Keller.
And he just nods at you before starting to move below deck himself.
Mm-hmm.
Shax will watch him go.
Tuck the wings in. Oh, that child needs a bath.
Yes, I could smell her from here.
Yeah.
Shax will also, at that point, look and go, by the way, so you're aware of it, since it is a thing you've seemed to have enjoyed saying the last couple of times. And he will actually relay the fact that their word for primitive is much the same as the word for fae. To Gifton to make her aware of that.
Gifton gets a very, muddled look on her face, I'm kind of hurt.
Don't worry. You should remember that I saw a much earlier form of their people. They have not evolved much.
Wow.
So you go ask Towdy, who knows her words and stuff. She can probably break down the entire lexiconical thing of hey, how primitive comes from the word for nature, which is just tied with the word for fae.
No, it means stupid. These fae are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so wait, he's a fae.
Her sticky file next to Morgani that she drew on her paper.
So we had a Fey soldier that agreed to that definition?
I'm gonna get a bath in my room. You guys have a good time.
Okay. Unless people want to do otherwise, it is late and you can all retire for a well-earned rest.
Yep. Rest.
Corvus just
Cass is
tending to the girl.
kid down and making sure she's okay.
Oh, actually, Corvus, go ahead and give me a medicine check for the go.
Malnourished, dehydrated, probably suffering from parasite. You know, the good stuff.
Yeah, basically all of the above. Yes.
Okay.
Nothing
One
that
thing
is
at a
beyond your
time.
form to treat, though. Even through like mundane means, she's treatable.
Doesn't want to system shock her with just like instant cure. That's stupid. But he will take care of the glaring things first.
There would be no system shock with instant cure.
But leeches are fine.
Yeah.
He will do a mixture of both.
Yes, you might want to deal with parasite and infection via magical
Yes.
means.
Yes.
No nutrition, no.
It's slow and steady wins
Yeah.
the race. That's fine.
Here, open your mouth. I'm going to pour all these
But
good
get rid
berries
of the
into
thing
you.
that's eating her food for her. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, once down below, Cassie. She's not particularly clingy. So it's easy enough to set her down. And not just Elise, but soon enough, a few of the other Hexamarkers down here are sort of coming round, and you know, she's gonna be taken care of.
Doctor first. He pointed at everybody.
This is where you pulled
Yeah,
the
I
knife
know.
out.
A bunch of Hexenreich women who are now suddenly around the child clucking.
One of the Hexamark women is actually there. We'll sort of look to you, Corvus, and she'll just go, I'm not a doctor, but I have treated the ill.
Oh, no, perfect. Wunderbar. There's a lot.
I will keep an eye on the girl.
Okay. I will come in frequently just to do what I can when I can.
She nods appreciatively at you. Yeah, you are able to get the girl not settled in, but at least taken care of.
Give her some dragon weed.
And soon enough, the night calls you, and the night passes as you all slumber. Carrick,
Yes.
your dreams are restless. The sight and memory of the mad priest so long ago, Talia's father, seems to be haunting your dreams. And that rip, that void that he had left in his chest, your dream seems to focus on that. Something about it just seems to tug at your essence. Like the ending of your life would just be the beginning of a journey, one that you don't want to take. As if this is a doorway that is calling to you. But the living can't step through it. And it is as you see that knife flashing towards you, flashing towards Talia, your dream never quite completing that blow, but promising the oncoming of it, that sense of dread just grows and grows and grows. That void in his chest seeming to encompass more and more of your vision. And then morning arrives, and you're awake.
Oh no, Carrick's starting to go crazy.
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
It's fine. I can only take out the airship with me.
It's as you awake, Carrick, sitting up in your cot in your little personal room, that you see claw marks inscribed in the metal of the wall here. a whole range of scratchings, not just a single set, but the wall seemingly clawed at again and again and again.
I'm guessing this is from the inside.
It's from the inside, yep.
Just don't tell anybody about it. It's not a problem if you don't tell anybody about it.
And it says you sit up in bed looking at them that you realise, yeah, that is perfectly level for you being in bed. And the rest of you rouse from dreams that might not be entirely pleasant. You know, it's a bad experience you've gone through.
Just in case this is my decision, did I have the rings on or the ring off?
Either you could have either your decision.
Okay, I would have had the ring on. I just wanted to check.
Yeah.
Because if you said definitely, I'm like, okay, the ring's staying on all the time.
We are point blank in Crazy Town right now.
Yeah. I just wanted to
Welcome to Morgani's land, yo.
Yeah.
And
direct conduit to crazy.
Am I okay?
Yeah, you guys are fine.
Okay.
By the way, where's Beck when I woke up?
Merrick?
He would have been in the room.
Oh, that's it. I never know whether you have him summoned or not.
Okay. Yeah, he basically, if we're like in the airship and just.
And in that case, Merrick will sort of be on your little sort of bedside table in here, just sort of meeping at you like worriedly.
Okay, so he's got the look of.
Daddy, are you okay?
Are you okay?
I'm gonna pick him up and give him a hug.
Papa?
He sort of readily nuzzles into you.
Definitely not bringing Talia out.
I mean, no shit, it's a war zone.
I mean, no, this isn't ever. This is better if you save the world and fix this. Talia's not coming out.
Hexamax, oh.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I will say you are up before everybody else, but except Telde, who never really goes.
Make breakfast.
I was gonna say I'm going to the mess.
Right, you're gonna start cooking breakfast.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should definitely start doing that.
Will be from this.
I like to think that they would just heat a pan and watch it.
Hey, good breakfast.
The what's the word? Existential dread is heart sharpened.
The existential dread makes me feel tasty.
Hey, welcome to Corvus's world.
Tilda, you actually see Carrick heading to the mess, and eventually, Gifton.
Good. Sorry.
Oh, I was saying, eventually everyone can filter in for breakfast if they so please.
He's just gonna grab Corvus the moment he shows up for breakfast. Hey.
What?
Hey, banish me.
What?
Banish me.
Why?
Things you don't expect to happen at breakfast. Is it that bad today?
I want to know if I can get back from the Fae.
I mean, didn't we already determine this?
Well, I know I can get banished, right?
Right. And
then
you came back.
if you don't hold it, I come back to where I was, right? That's how that spell works, right?
Yes.
So I can get to the Fae.
Unless it is you're returning them back to the plane they are considered from.
Right. You will stay there if that's where you are considered to be.
Yeah, but I think you banished me before.
I did, and then you were also banished by other means. Well, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, anyway, let's table that idea. I think it'd be a neat, interesting experiment sometime. Because I think I actually can get to it from the Fae right now.
Banish.
You casting it?
That.
Yeah.
Okay, you casting banish on Gifton.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Alright, so Gifton, I need you to make me a saving throw, or are you willing to fail it?
I'm willing to fail it.
Okay, Gifton vanishes into the Feywild. Gifton?
Yeah.
You land in an area of the Feywild that looks withered. Corvus, how long are you holding this for?
A couple rounds.
So
Okay.
good 12 seconds. Cool. You release it. Congrats, Gifton. You're still in the fucking Feywild.
We literally just fucking discussed this. We just said why this would be a bad idea.
What? Last time I got released, I got
I'm
back
not
to where I was.
you. I'm saying it to the one who fucking cast it.
Yeah, and honestly, best to do that when you've got like assurances that she can get back if it doesn't release properly.
Sure.
You should have seen the look of agony on my face as this was being discussed.
No, actually,
Why
it's
did
hell
this
if
come
it-
up?
Did it
Why
get held
did you
for the?
do it?
So I know this is the GM, but did it actually get held for the minute?
It did not get held for the minute, no.
Okay, then it technically pops her back here, regardless of the one. I know your thing's different, but I'm just saying.
She is in the Feywild
Yeah.
still.
Yay!
We're sitting there in the Feywild. Any minute now.
We have no way to communicate with
There
her
are
either.
other possible reasons why she might not be able to get back.
I'm going to
Interference
read
with the
you.
magic.
I'm going to read you a line from my notes.
Mhm.
In Hexenreich, spells such as banishment, or those that cast people into extraplanar dimensions, or spells like maze, are particularly effective, being incredibly hard to return from, even on successful saves or spell releases.
Yeah, that's what I was
Nice.
expecting it would be.
Nice. Well, after a while, I'm going to use plane shift, and I'm going back to my house, and then I'm going to get on the radio and ask for Corvus to come pick me up.
Okay.
Because he can do his empty travel to come get me.
Alright, so Gifton, you arrived home.
Yeah.
Slicer!
We found the
Corvus, why did you do that?
Fine, I'll be my normal, grumbly, uncommitted self.
That is not the point. We had just discussed why it might not be a great idea, and then you did it anyways. That's just the problem.
I mean, it was great because I literally just said, well, okay, well, something to keep in mind. Then vanished.
And did you radio the whole group or just him?
No, I mean, I'm messaging the radio in the mess.
Okay, and
I
Kara
think
should go.
we're spinning around the mess hall.
Yeah.
Hurry back, because I have some bad news, and I would like her here to hear it.
Okay, are you going to call the airship to a stop?
I mean, we
I
have.
would like to not
he
try to make. I can do it, but it's easier if it is stopped.
Yeah,
If that's a problem, Sax.
Yes, let's stop the airship.
Okay, so you call the airship to a stop.
Go up and
Scarlet, who is now back on deck, will stop the airship.
Gifton
It'll
is
be
taking
but a
advantage of
second.
waiting for Corvus by hugging every family member.
Yeah.
She's like, yes, I
This
got
has
away
been a
with that.
wonderful start to the day. I should not have opened my eyes.
Don't worry.
Wait, I have no
Open
choice.
your eyes.
you do not have
Moments later, Gifton.
But yes,
The best part is I'm literally gonna go in and just like dive into Raziel like a wrecking ball, and then just go like try and like lift up all the kids. And
Yeah. So
Furious banging on
there's
the
a
door.
quick round of hugs and then family happiness and general confusion. Before Corvus picks you up, and you can make a quick jaunt through the empty, which is thankfully uneventful.
Yes.
Returning to the airship. Idris
See,
is.
I know you can fix it if it went wrong.
Oh, alright. So did you check your pockets?
Yes, I'm checking my pockets.
Yeah, there are no children.
Yeah.
And Scarlet is able to get the ship back out of the way.
There's no children because they already escaped.
Yeah. I'm going back into the mess. Well, that was exciting.
Fine, I'm not doing any more random suggestions from anybody. I'm gonna brew
I thought
and
that was
stew.
really valuable information
Corvus,
for
that again
me.
is not the damn point. You are getting the wrong message out of the conversation.
No, I think
It's
that was
what the message I want.
You want to get rid
Yeah,
of
Always
that is
get
consistent.
what you want.
Well, it's valuable information because that means if anybody casts that spell at me, I am in real freaking trouble. Please don't let them do it.
Noted.
Okay? That's actually what I was kind of interested in.
Also, good information for those of you that know those kind of spells as well.
particularly.
Now for the bad news.
Oh, right. Carrick has bad news. That's why he wanted that.
Oh.
So
Waffles are amazing.
we need to repair my room.
Why?
Why?
The dreams have started to come back.
Oh, are you seeing the big space thing again?
No.
Wasn't
Worse.
that Rick Bill that was holding them off? Was that the?
No, that was my
No,
grandmother.
that was Grandma
who
Lynn.
That was Grandma.
Oh, we are right in crazy town right now, aren't we?
Right. There's also that.
This
Well,
one
could
was.
you do your sentry in Carrick's room?
I suppose.
If you see the walls, I don't know if that would be safe.
Well, he can maybe get you out of your whatever.
Maybe if we have because if you do scary things,
There's a couple of very small little beeps from Merrick. Shapes basically translating as that he wouldn't wake up.
that he won't wake up. Oh.
Yeah.
Also, no.
We could just get somebody to banish him.
Everyone quiet. We don't want this spreading beyond this room.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was going to say if we tried to hide him in the mansion, which is extra planar, maybe that would help shield him from what's going on. But
If it doesn't, it puts him around many more big chance.
yeah, if more people that he could be do you want to use the free spell the Simulacrum can cast every day to make a mansion in your room and try sleeping in that?
Attempt that.
Why don't you try
That's
that?
a good
tonight?
idea.
Try that. It'll make a buffer between you and them, and it'll also keep you away from the other people.
And just tell Dave you want to hang out outside of this door.
We can't let anyone see the damage to Carrick's room.
Exactly.
I can go repair it.
All right, do it covertly. Don't let people see what's going on, okay?
Shaxton walking through the halls yelling, "Hey, I'm moving panels here."
I mean, I was just going to go there and use mending.
Mending wouldn't work on that. No. Mending can only do certain sizes of damage on stuff.
Yeah. It doesn't do additives, so like if you have multiple rakes, it's annoying. You probably really did a number on a very expensive panel. Thank you, Carrick.
I mean, it's better than
unbolt it, flip the sides up, put it back.
I mean, at least it's acid breath.
Yeah. Don't acid breath the room in the middle of the night. Yeah, I know you've done this to an inn once.
No, I lit an inn on fire in the middle of the night.
No, you burnt your sheets with acid, I thought.
No, fire. I didn't know how to do acid for that spell yet. No, it had to do with...
that's troubling to know. Like I said, maybe we should have somebody keep watch on you in case... I hate to say it, Carrick, not just because we might not be able to stop you while you're asleep, but to keep you from hurting anybody.
Yes.
Corvus reaches into his satchel and pulls out the rusty metal ball. There is this.
Why don't we just put extra dimensional shackles on him instead? That would make it so he's not entirely.
So why don't we try the mansion tonight? Try do your own mansion tonight, and we'll keep track, see if anything happens. Okay? If it doesn't work, we'll move up threat levels. But at least if you do damage inside your own mansion, it won't hurt anything here. Maybe.
Hopefully.
But tell Dave if you can kind of keep an extra watch on Carrick's sleeping habits, and if he seems violent or dangerous, let us know.
Would you like me to stay within the room within the mansion then?
I would like that if Carrick is fine with that. I think that would be best.
That is fine. There should be enough rooms that I won't be too close and risk injuring someone.
Cut to the Scooby-Doo sequence of Tell Dave being chased by Carrick through a mansion.
I mean, at least it's a person who can outrun me.
Mm-hmm. I'm picturing it's Scooby-Doo, but like Carrick's just doing a very slow walk, arms swinging, and Telday's not going any faster than a...
Telday's using dimension doors so he can actually run from room to room out of sequence.
All right.
But the other half of it is what the dreams of.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, it was not of
the outside. This time it was here. It was Talia's father in the end.
Oh. I mean, we did just see a lot of horrific stuff yesterday. That's some kind of underlying trauma, maybe.
Yeah,
Might just be having nightmares.
The description is pretty much fitting the same.
All right. Well, like I said, we'll keep an eye out, and you're okay. You're safe. Talia's father's not going to get you.
Again. Already got the drop out of one. Not going to do it again.
I'm trying to be a supportive friend. Let me do this, okay?
Sorry.
All right.
I'm pretty sure you're bigger than him at this point.
I mean, I was bigger than him then. He freaking ripped his own heart through his ribs. So, I mean, that's questionable.
That was commitment. All right. Well, let's get you arrested. Let's focus on.
I can't remember. Did our sending spell out of character? Do the sending spells work from here back to home?
Sending spell doesn't work here.
Okay, so it's just the radios.
Just the radio. The radio is the only thing we have to communicate outside.
And you have one at your house, correct?
I have one at my house, and we have one to Sten house. So if you communicate to my house, they can send people there.
I'm gonna walk over him just as a precaution. I can.
Do you want me to banish you so that way?
No.
I have that spell prepared.
Yeah.
Do you still have it? Do you still have slots for it?
That's yes.
They're like 6th level.
You're walking over to the radio.
I'm gonna radio to Gifton's house and hopefully get care. Hopefully.
Eventually. First you get sort of talk back and forth with some of the kids who seem to find this radio thing immensely amusing. In fact, I think they might actually be waiting near that for a lot of the day, quite often.
I mean, mommy keeps coming by and talking on it and singing on it and doing stuff. It's like it's free mommy time, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to either get care, Lucian,
eventually, Razel will actually answer it. And she'll just go, who would you like? Raziel or?
How about I direct a message?
Either, yeah.
Yes, that is a very shiny fork. Very nice, dear. Raziel, okay, one moment.
I was half expecting the no, don't put it in your eye.
No.
They get raised hand style. They get to do that.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Hey, beliefs basically go, there's enough of them.
They have 2 eyes. It's fine.
Now, you're not allowed to cause harm
Magic
to a child,
exists.
but letting a child hurt themselves is different.
Yes.
There's magic. It exists. It's fine.
Yeah. The Hayan religion is legitimately tinged with a little bit of survival of the fittest, so...
The ones that start to not lose their eyes are the ones that survive.
But yes, eventually Raziel will pick up the radio and go, Carrick, hello?
Hey, Raz. Can either you or... I don't have such a hard freaking time. Care. Go just double check on Talia for me.
Certainly. What's wrong?
Just some issues I'm hoping are based on me being here. I just want to make sure
Did you tell Raziel you had bad dreams?
No. I was trying
any
to avoid
particular form of inquiry that my checking up on her should take?
Make sure she's not having any of the dreams come back. She'll know what I mean.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. So
I'm gonna put the radio and just go. God, it's so much easier when I can just use mine. Actually, wait. Do the sending stones still work?
Mine don't.
We try. Okay. I was just saying, if we tried those yet.
even if you haven't, you know that there's only the reason that this radio works is because this was made specifically to be breaking through this kind of interference.
Everything wouldn't work. So we were like, sending stones. I was like, nope, that won't work. Shit.
What if my sending's like grandma's? What if grandma's sending?
Your grandma probably can't scry on you right now. She's probably beside herself.
Right. You sit through breakfast, eating your the spare waffles. Before eventually the radio keys up again, and You go pick it up, and Rez goes, okay, Lucian ran over and checked up on her. She's fine, no bad dreams. Told her that she's doing okay. Hope that's not a lie.
I hope it's not a lie either. Thank you. I'm hoping it was a one-time.
I also appreciate the fact that I basically barged into my house and said, Carver's banished me earlier.
Well, you might like to know that the forge is going well. We're going to be starting to run our first tests today.
Nice. Best of luck on the tests.
Right, well, best wishes to all of you.
I will
That
pass them
sounded
on.
far too saccharine, and the radio hangs up.
Aw, he's sweet on us now.
No.
It's
Okay.
good.
He has been for a while. He's just not happy with himself about it.
No, he's
Isn't.
fine with being sweet on gift.
All right.
It's the rest of us.
All right, he was actually
by
pretty sweet
myself.
on everybody, and then somebody tried to shoot him.
I've
Slow turn.
I
good.
did shoot him.
He's
I mean,
the
technically-
exception.
Technically, he did shield, so you didn't.
Yeah, he
technically hit
didn't
him.
succeed.
You
Right.
shot at him.
The journey continues on. Unless there's other pressing matters you will need to discuss.
Nope, that was all I was interested in, was finding out about what banishment would do to me. I was actually curious if I could use it as a relay system to talk to people in the Fae. Turns out I can't.
But you can, it's just got a really
wouldn't-
complicated extra step.
Yeah, you just have to go back home. Then
There may
I know,
be
but at that point I might as well
also
just go with Corvus back.
yeah.
Or just send Corvus, you know.
Yeah.
there may be also the fact that you are probably in a blighted Fey area, which probably has some nasty.
Yeah, don't
Well,
be there too long.
That is the part of the Fae that's connected to Hexen, right? So, it is not a great place.
It's fine. They're just half Fae, half dragon crazy things.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to continue on just
Alright.
kind of helping people.
I wouldn't say that there's a priority thing, but Telde definitely wants to have the awkward comment of mentioning to Cassie that she seemed good with the child. Has she ever considered having one?
There you go, prime time.
She's far too young. Now.
That is right. Cassie looks like she's like 15.
Actually, I will be frank, in this setting, no, she doesn't, not to you.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's more fun that. I mean, technically for Telde.
Everyone's too young to be having kids.
And everyone is too young for Telde. Half his
Exactly.
age plus 7 is ridiculously high.
Actually,
I
thankfully,
mean-
you're going somewhere that might not be the case.
Yeah.
So
And we know-
congratulations, Carrick. Somebody else is going to have to hit on your grandma again.
No, I was just saying, there's at least 2 people we know that fit that bill. Unfortunately, one is Grandma, the other one is her count.
Moving on.
I mean, Heartcount does look dashing now.
Yeah, he does.
Okay.
Raphael's in the running.
Another day into the journey. You are all called up on deck. Both Idris and Scarlet are up there, and so
Well,
is
that's not good.
Beck and Keller. Basically, Sergeant technically in charge, and the man that is actually in charge of the soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
The one that the soldiers listen to,
Uh-huh.
and the one who's supposed to be in charge of them. Yeah.
Basically, you are going to be informed that they are starting to see signs of troop movement. Not the troops themselves, but basically the trails and such that are left behind. They are growing concerned, and of course, it's already known from the military reports that Furamir was coming under attack. And it's not a large leap to assume that, there's probably a lot of forces moving towards there. At this point, they are worried about being spotted and are suggesting that they try and move with some more caution. They'd like to basically have people scouting out ahead of the airship because it's a lot bigger a thing and easier to spot. So even if they have to slow the airship speed a little bit and then have people scouting out through flight, it'll be safer.
So they want me to cast Misty on people.
Yeah, basically.
All right. I'm down for it.
Keller says that he and his men are happy to assist on rotation.
Checks a volunteer as well, because that used to be his fucking job.
Carrot.
I am going to probably be the bad person and tell Corvus I think he should be out of the rotation.
I can only see 120 feet.
Yes, this is why I was saying I don't think that there's any point.
I have more
Corvus.
pressing duties.
Yeah. You can be taking care of people, and you can help out if anything comes to the ship.
Basically, Keller's opinion is he'd like a couple of you who can see very well to come with, but knowing how well you can all hold yourselves, would like most of you to be protecting the ship.
Mm-hmm. Why don't we do a couple of us at a time out with his men?
Mm-hmm.
That way they have some heavy protection.
Yeah.
How do we want to do that? Maybe me and Carrick could go on separate paths if we want to do it in different groupings, and then Shaxton and Telday on different ones as well. And I don't know, like, and Cassie. So I think like we double up. Cassie's really good with range and stuff like that. But she won't be able to do anything manifesting in the air. So
Keller is going to suggest that no matter having people scout in different directions is of course handy.
Cassie's probably better defending the ship because she could just set up and shoot. And that would be good to have her solidly there.
How many people can you turn into mist?
Strong and can pitch people over the side if need be.
What did Keller say?
How many people can you turn into mist with one spell?
I motion 11, but I have to be one of the ones each time.
So you probably do 10 and then point yourself and do 1.
Yeah, 10 and then me. Yeah.
Every reaction just kind of anytime it's you haven't talked about it, you just
and then I'll motion 8 hours.
Then
and say hours.
All of my men can assist. We are not much here. I would still suggest we scout off in groups of 2. And Shaxton, this is actually a common Hexenreich scouting tactic, especially for the Goemagia. But they use it for ground force as well, which is they do scout in groups of 2 simply because if they encounter something, 1 delays, 1 flees. They have a sacrificial tactic, essentially, if need be.
And I'm going to relay, I think, Cassie, why don't you and Corvus stay as always on the ship? I want you here because you're really, you seem like you got a handle on that rifle. And if anything happens, people need to move shit, need stuff. You're strong. You can do it. The rest of us can probably do some stuff in the air if we need to. Because even if I have to solidify in the air, I can get my wings back out and get under me. So, and Shax, same thing with you. Carrick can fly. Telday can teleport. So
can Carrick.
Yeah, they can dimension door. So yeah, they both can do that, so they'll be fine. So
I'm just picturing Telday falling, dimension door, falling again, falling, dimension door, just like continually falling to the air.
I mean,
like dimension dooring back up each time.
Well, moving forward
each time. With 4 of them, and then we'll do it on cycles. I'll try to arrange that, and so we'll be one of them, one of us, one of them, one of us on each cycle. Because there's 8 of them and there's 4 of us, so we could go half and half with us taking breaks.
Yes, this is a good idea. I would like, if we are scouting 3 teams out at once, we can do it on rotation, moving people out as people come in.
Sounds good. Nod.
Okay.
That sounds like a good plan.
And if we need to, we can pull Cassie off reserve. But I'm going to, unfortunately, tip this hand. I'm going to tell them Corvus have bad vision, can't see far.
Strange eyes. I wondered if something was wrong.
Yeah, he's just, not good.
I see more up close.
Okay then. You decide on the teams, and we will do what we can.
All right. Oh, I'm just random.
He will insight that.
Okay, go ahead. Roll an insight.
Just with the mention of his eyes.
The man think that you got weird fucky eyes and is uncertain about them.
That's good enough.
I also point out past bit of travel, these men have seemed far more affable with you all. And I will say that out of character, the fact that you stopped to check the town basically did prevent them trying to hijack the ship to protect and find their own people.
Kind of figured.
Yeah.
It was all a calculated bid from us.
Well, how do you spell the one guy? Or wait, Keller's the one guy, right?
Keller's in charge, yeah. Beck is also willing to go out. So essentially, you have 9 Hexamech soldiers that you can call on and divide as you want between search parties.
That's what I've come up with so far. Yeah, that's 1, 2.
Okay, right. So you're always going to have a player member.
Always have a player member with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, I didn't put Klossner on there. Who haven't I doubled up on? I guess don't put her down for herself for another one.
Okay.
There.
Right. In that case, each of the player members are going out twice, except Gifton's going out thrice.
Yep.
Okay. In that case, I would like 2 perception checks with advantage because you have company. From each of you, Gifton, give me 3.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I'll do my 2 next. Are they're together and it's easy to.
Yeah, I'll wait.
And I'm basically looking for a certain DC. If enough of the group roll above it, you are shifting the encounter chance more in your favor.
All right, Zelda, you do it.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say for both of mine, I'm going to flash both to be 30 and 20.
Okay.
Well, I'm consistent.
I'm pretty sure 27 is passing.
Already, you guys have beaten the day's challenge.
Don't worry, it might get worse with me.
No, I mean, I don't think.
I'm bringing the average down.
I believed in you.
Okay. In that case.
No, I don't think I could do anything to help you,
let me double check. Even her odds? I'm going to wheel myself.
Very nice. Right.
21.
It is off scouting ahead of the ship. That Carrick, your team is able to spot signs of it. Looks like it's going off in a certain direction. There are signs on the ground of what looks like to be a large force movement. It's landing and relaying this that you are able to get, which I'm going to say because you've got experienced soldiers with you, you do actually have predefined times of check-in with each other. So you know when to reform and so on. It's during one of these check-ins that you are able to relay it to Telday's team, who can confirm and find what looks like to be a troop movement. You can see them from a good distance setting up encampment. Definitely not friendly forces. Looks like they have been pulled along by ground drakes. Is anti-aircraft weaponry, both magical and mundane. As well as a larger force with them. And thus spotting it, you are able to make sure the airship does not intercept it. Although I will say that you can chance flying over this if you so please. You're going to add about half a day's journey if you go around.
We'll go around.
I think the half a day's safer. We said we were keeping these people safe.
Okay.
Yep.
Very nice.
You don't want flak rounds revealing a ship full of people.
So how far could we tag Storm of Vengeance if I can double the distance it casts? Drop Storm of Vengeance.
I mean, if you wanna.
I don't think it has that long of a range to cast, so.
Okay.
Mhm. Storm of Vengeance has a range of my vision.
Yeah, that means I can't double it, so. I would see if I can get really super long range and just kind of like plonk.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm going to roll for the next day's encounter stuff just to see if you got, because I'm not going to have you roll if there wouldn't be anything anyway.
Mhm.
Nothing on the next day?
Yeah.
Does Carrick's dreams go okay in the magic?
Oh, yes, that's right. Yeah, no dreams. Well, no weird supernatural dreams in the magical mansion.
Yeah,
Safe place.
Safe place.
Next day, no encounter.
All right, we're officially 5 days out from our last big fight.
I need perception checks on this third day.
Okay, we'll do it in the same order. Let's start with Shax.
Yep.
And I need to roll Wheeler Woe real quick, so I need to know what it is for the day. So I'm just doing that between.
Same as
it's
before.
Woe.
Same as before. We're gonna flash both mine up.
Okay, so 1%,
Very nice.
2 percept.
Very nice.
I should really just be assisting Dingus.
Oh.
Is what I should be doing. Thinking about.
Advantage.
Dingus,
Can I
tell me if you
assist
see
Dingus? Is he on my group?
Is Dingus with you?
Yeah.
Sure.
He's always with me.
Yeah.
What's Dingus's perspective?
Ooh,
Dingus
glad
got
I didn't
Um,
have advantage on that first one.
Once again, Sam, you don't particularly need to roll. The group has already beaten.
I'm actually.
Dingus with assistance.
Yeah.
Yay.
Okay.
Wait.
By the way, guys, for each day you need 4 rolls above 25. I'm just going to tell you.
Okay. All right, day 6.
All right. Well, on that day, you do actually see a enemy airship in the distance. It is pretty far out, but it could sight your airship and start to do an intercept unless, again, you shift course. You're better.
If I throw a storm of vengeance between it and us, it would be having a harder time to see us, right?
Yes. Whether it might try to investigate the unnatural storm that just appeared.
It might investigate the magic storm.
Actually, rather than shifting course, you could simply slow for a bit, and it would basically travel out of range because it is moving away from you. But you would essentially, being a smaller scout ship, catch up.
Sure. Why don't we slow down?
That sounds like the best plan.
Okay. All right. Very nice. Fucking nothing. Then nothing. I give up. Okay.
Keeping people
We get
safe.
there.
And the rest of your travel is rather uneventful. It is on one of your sort of group returns back to the ship when you're sort of doing your changes in who's going out, what directions you're going. Scarlet will actually sort of put her fingers to her lips, whistle as if to catch everyone's attention, and go, we're only a day out from Faramir. We might be sighting them anytime soon. I don't know if they have any forces out on further scouting, but things you encounter might not be furthered anymore.
Okay. Carrick, you might want to tuck them in. If we get inside of Faramir.
Okay.
You know, maybe
Brain
look
parse
a,
that.
look a little bit less dragony.
I will for whatever part we can, but if I need to, I don't really have another way to fly if needed.
Of course. I'm just saying, like, you know, man about town.
Yes.
Okay. All right. It is on your next day scouting out. I'd like a final set of perception checks, and I only need 1 from each of you.
To be
order.
Dingus.
Hey!
Hey.
Dingus do good.
Things do good. Okay.
Wow. Telday.
Wow.
Disappointing.
It is out and about. Telday, you don't see much of consequence. Shaxon, you do see a few spots of essentially what looks like to be skirmish sites. You see, bloody bodies, and just looks like further forces that have been killed. Small signs of battle. It's Carrick and Gifton, because even from a distance, this is easy to see. Carrick, you will see what looks like to be dead dragons at one point. There's a silver and a gold that look like they were taken out with these really big iron spears, but these are like ballista-sized, but definitely spear-shaped. We've got nothing that you'd usually see to track or alter trajectory.
We have like a Baratheon flag on our ship that we can wave.
You might need to make one.
I could probably make the illusion
which,
of one.
Gifton, you definitely think that when Dingus says, meet me, look over there, and you see, with holes through it, a Hexenreich destroyer-class airship. Something a bit larger than yours that has basically crashed and smoldered out.
Huh. Okay. So yeah. I have plans. I have thoughts.
And shortly after that, both Shaxon, Carrick, Gifton, and not Teldado, we'll see odd things in trees. Strange stone figures that have horrible sort of snarly faces, great big stone wings, and are just sort of inert, standing on branches. They look like they are trying to hide, camouflaged, but they are these great big stone creatures. A little bigger than a man.
Like a gargoyle of some sort.
Yes, gargoyles.
I like how it doesn't show who's stabbing in blindness. So
Or can we can roll on Arcana or something to try and identify these things?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Any of you can try Arcana. Or history or stonemasonry, I will also allow.
That's the same roll for me. So.
Oh man, I wish I was on Thaldir right now.
And
Yeah.
I'll bump it to a 30.
You bump it to 30? Okay, you're going to roll, Gifton?
I guess I'll roll. You said it's stonemasonry.
History or Arcana.
Wow, I have a 0, a 0, a 0, or a 0.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Roll
It's
back.
a raw.
You don't know what these are. But Carrick, these are gargoyles. You know that much. They look like them. You've seen them in their non-animated forms, at the very least. And the fact that these are out in the wild, out in trees, you know that there's magic that can do that.
It's daytime.
Yes, I will be wrapping up soon, Corvus, don't worry. Shaxon, you definitely know that these are animated statues, essentially. There's a few reports on Faramir using these things for both manual labor and defense. And you would guess that these are scouts of a sort, or watch post things.
If we're keeping an eye out,
Mhm.
some you don't speed, some you don't, then somebody can move of its own accord when necessary.
Yeah. Seeing these, your accompanying Hexenreich wisps actually sort of bob as if indicating back to ship. Okay. All right.
When I get there,
Mhm.
I would like to use Wish
Mhm.
to cast another spell.
Mhm.
So I'm just eating the slot. I'm casting Major Image. I am making the biggest freaking thing of like draping
Cough.
Baratheon flags coming off the side of our airship, whipping in the wind. Because I used a spell slot of 6 or higher, this is permanent unless dispelled. So we
Okay.
have Baratheon flags shooting off the side of the ship.
And we're in complete drip of it as well.
That ship looks amazing, and more importantly,
it's not on the deck, but it's off the side. Just
and very
attached to the
importantly,
deck.
unlike the other airship, it's not spouting these furthered symbols.
Yes.
Mhm.
Right.
I'll cast mine anyways. So
It is a few hours into the trip, having informed and relayed this information of what's ahead. That the airship will continue on, and suddenly in the sky you do see flapping gargoyles, 2 of them heading towards the airship. They're not carrying any weapons of any sort.
They are the weapons.
Is one of them purple and the other one... Oh, wait, no, let's...
I will ask, have you allowed the soldiers to remain on deck?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, make sure they keep weapons down, though. We don't want to start a fight.
They are keeping their weapons lowered, but you can see that sort of readiness, that just general caution that's drilled into them. Scarlet at the helm looks a little concerned, but soon enough these figures essentially arrive at the airship, and there is that sound of heavy weight on the decking's metal and wood as they sort of cling to rails and just let themselves settle against the plating. These gargoyles alight on the prow of the ship, and they sort of look over the group of you, their wings tacking in. Before one note,
Pop a Hexenray, or not a Hexenray salute, but a Barassian salute at the gargoyles as they land.
One of the gargoyles starts to slowly sort of slink onto the deck, which is a strange movement to see for something that looks so craggly and heavy. It's actually moving quite some fluidity. And it slowly sort of comes over closer before settling onto its haunches in a typical gargoyle sit, and opens its mouth, and a voice entirely unfitting it emerges. A rather pleasant tone going, I assume by the flag you are flying that you hail from Barast, and this is in Barassian.
Yes, General Greysteel of Barast, here offering aid to the people of Hexenreich and Faramir.
I assume by Hexenreich you mean...
The former state of, yes. We have refugees.
Then Hexenreich refugees are welcome in the state of Faramir. Your airship will need to alight outside our walls, however.
You have walls over your whole state?
No, but if you fly over it, you will be shot down.
Right.
Understood.
The gargoyles will accompany you. I hope this is not an issue.
Oh, gargoyles. I heard goggles. I don't know why.
They
is that
do
what
wear
they are?
goggles.
Good.
Goggles.
Just so let you are aware, I do not want to catch you off guard. I can see and hear everything that these do.
Good.
If you wish to discuss plans in secret, I advise you do it away from them.
Don't really have any plans in secret.
Then, I look forward to seeing you soon. How many refugees shall we be expecting?
How many do we have? I haven't done a head count.
You have about...
depend on them whether or not they want to stay or...
Well, we do need to find out which ones will want to go in.
I will actually say that was discussed. A lot of them don't want to stay in Faramir, but the promise of being able to be taken to Barast through that was enough that nobody actually wanted to leave, or at least those that did were sort of talked down by those around them.
Wait, so they don't want to leave Faramir?
No. Don't want to leave the airship.
They don't want to stay.
They didn't want to get off before we got to...
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of our folks want to be transported off to Barast. Is there any open area where we can use our magic freely?
Once you have alighted outside, we can discuss your entry where you may freely be able to use our circles.
Do the gargoyles eat?
Circle?
Magical circles. Transportation.
They're saying we can use the teleport circles rather than the teleport spell gifting.
Just need some trees.
Faramir is unaffected by the Hexenreich magics protecting the continent. And no, the gargoyles do not need to eat.
Is it clear in this area?
No, not outside our walls. I will have Wilhelm meet you at our gates. This will be interesting. If you need me, tell the gargoyles they will get a message to me. Until then, I look forward to...
Who am I addressing again?
My name is Falda.
Valda. Pleasure to meet you. Look forward to talking to you in person, hopefully.
And who might Wilhelm be?
So wonder who's meeting us.
Apparently somebody important.
Wilhelm is our seat of diplomacy.
It'll be recognizable, I'm guessing.
Quite, yes.
I was just saying, I guess if not, they will introduce themselves.
Why am I now expecting a parade coming out of the gates with the theme to Prince Ali playing?
I mean, the honest truth is, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilhelm's the dragon.
Yes, Wilhelm is our seat of diplomacy, and I myself am the seat of the Arcana.
Oh, see, okay.
Yeah, position.
Yeah, well, actually, seat or seek?
Seat. S-E-A-T.
Okay. Try thought, but I said, by the way, seek is actually a title, so I want to make sure.
Once more, if you have need of me, the gargoyles can relay a message.
Alright, thank you.
I bid you good day.
Good day.
Good day, thank you.
Right, and the gargoyle's mouth closes, and it just sort of like starts to like backstep towards the rails.
Alright.
And then does a backflip.
Those are very interesting.
Very.
My kids would love one.
Just a symbol one.
I don't think I would trust your children, if I'm being honest. The trouble they get up into without one is already...
Is Garrett going to attempt to add one to his menagerie?
No. To not really.
I don't think he would survive.
And the
How would I not survive?
ship continues onwards.
Can you imagine what the kids would do to one?
Let our people know that so they were all okay with going to Barast, right?
You have some that want to go to Barast. Keller says perhaps 20 odd of the people. The rest are willing to put some hope in Faramir.
Okay. Well, ones that want to go to Barast, we will have to step onto their soil to use it, and they won't let us drive our airship over the line, which isn't great for Scarlet and the rest.
Well,
We will discuss. Perhaps there will be a resolution.
Perhaps we can convince them to let us through just for a moment.
Yes, just for a minute to just let people over.
Me and my men have discussed it as well. We'd like
staying with or heading off.
We'd like to send Free off with the group heading to Barast, if that is okay.
Of course.
That makes sense.
The rest of us, we want to stay where it is, where we might most be needed.
But not.
Beck actually sort of pipes up at this, guys. I'll be staying here as well.
Oh, thank goodness.
I'm
genuinely happy he's staying.
And it's as the airship continues on, after another few hours, you do actually see Faramir coming over into view. There is a lot of land cleared around it. The trees cut back by at least a mile. The walls themselves are the first thing that really stand out. Tall, imposing,
Of course.
actually taller than the walls that surround Wyndham. You'd guess that Faramir is at probably about the size that Wyndham is. But it's not actually in width. Area-wise, probably 2/3 of Wyndham's, but the buildings are built immensely tall, and they almost look interlinked, as if like this entire place was carved out of one mountain.
Wow.
And
is Faramir a city or a country?
It's the country.
It's
the Kingdom of
both.
the Dead.
Yeah.
It's a city-state.
It's a city-state, yes.
Ah, okay.
We have entered.
That makes more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're attacking the Vatican.
And the buildings themselves, as they come into view, are a mishmash of styles. Shaxon, you would immediately identify a lot of things that is influenced by Pexon architecture. There's a lot of the nations on this continent share a common heritage there. There is also blendings of styles from other countries. Some you can identify. Some of you spot Saharan stylings, even some on some of the higher buildings, which look a little more recent built. There's a odd mishmash of like modern, almost normal looking stuff next to things that styled after mausoleums and so on, as if there is the interchange of some of us want to display what we are, some of us just want to be normal. But yeah, it is a very odd mishmash of stylings, all carved out of stonework. Any wooden structures probably inside or just hidden out of sight. There are a lot of gargoyles in the air, some perched along the city walls, others just flying about in groups as if they are air patrols. You can see heavy weapons set up along the edge of the walls, and immediately outside the walls there is essentially a large wooden shacks and tent style city in itself. Looks like a large refugee camp outside the main gates. And it is as you are approaching that a squadron of gargoyles will approach the airship. One of them alighting on it as its mouth opens and a different voice comes out, and you hear, "Please follow this group for your approach and landing." And this gargoyle squadron will lead you down to an area away from the sort of main tent city here, and essentially just have you sit down in a clearing. It's once you are set down that you see a small delegation moving across the ground towards you. Most of the figures are covered in sort of hoods and robes as if hiding features. The main figure at the head of it, though, is a figure in silver armor, the pauldrons of which are styled like skulls, but not in a sort of macabre sense. They're rather tastefully done.
Mm-hmm. They're not meant to be freaky. They're just
part of styling. In fact, religion rolls from each of you, please.
I'm really sad that I'm bad at religion after everything I've tried. God damn it!
Oh my god, have you tried?
Why am I such a heathen after all this effort?
I'm actually going to guess that 18 probably.
I rolled a literal 1.
Amazing.
I'm going to re-roll mine because I'm pretty sure 18 fails.
Mm-hmm.
Only way.
I'm fairly certain there's nothing to do with Morgani, so I don't get advantage on it.
Mm-hmm.
23.
Oh, actually, I apologize. This is no, he is there. Yeah. So this figure, those of you that roll above 25, it's Shaxon, will recognize some of the carvings on his armor as being rather old Emorian symbols, like they're sort of out of date now. Looks like he's wearing the armor of an old order of paladins of Emor. But you can see from the eye socket seems to be a bluish glow of flame. Beside him is a figure that is not wearing anything covering their face, and is clearly a skeleton. Clad in these rather not garish. It's tasteful, but it's definitely ostentatious purple clothing. They've got a lovely jaunty hat on, and they seem to be chatting with the armored figure as they approach. Are you guys going to come down from the airship to meet them, or are you going to stay on board?
I'm not going to come down.
I'm going to come down. Right thing.
Okay, Keller and Beck will accompany you, as will Scarlet. Actually, Scarlet's going to stay on board. So Keller and Beck come down with you.
Mm-hmm.
And the armored figure and the purple-clad figure separate from the sort of little procession that they've got with them, stepping forward to meet you all. Sadly, I don't have a picture of armored men, but here for reference is basically what the other fella looks like.
You said that right as Dan pasted in the fucking sentence.
Yes.
Oh,
Amazing.
Perfect timing.
This is currently gifted.
And the skeletal figure steps forward with a smile because he can't not. Sort of putting his hands together in a rather pleasantly accented Baratheon. Just goes, greetings. My name is Willem, and I bid you welcome to Faramir.
I will do a bit of a curtsy. And I was, greetings. It is a pleasure to meet you, Willem. I am Gifton Greysteel. And I'll start introducing the Shax Admiral Scala, Carrick Mars, Corvus Adderlass, etc.
I missed it. That's the skeleton. That's
The skeleton that is talking, yeah. Willem. He takes his hat off and actually gives a flourishing bow. It is a pleasure to have you. I am told that you have civilians on board.
Yes, many that are interested in seeking temporary refuge here or being carted temporarily to Barast until things can be settled better.
Well, those matters must be discussed first. However, we are willing to offer succor and aid. And he sort of just behind him, and you see the procession of these robed figures are actually carrying chests and barrels and so on. We have food, water, clothing, if they are in need.
I wave it off. That's all right. It was already being provided for.
Marvelous. Then, if you are the delegation group, he says, his eyes sort of looking over at each of you.
Yes.
If you would accompany me, might I ask if you leave most of your arms behind? You may bring some small things for personal defense, but no heavy armaments, guns, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Carrick's going to unclip a rapier and on the ship.
The armored figure is actually going to wave his hand as if to stop you, and he's going to sort of lean down to his companion and go, "Look at them. It wouldn't matter. Let them keep their things. We're fighting a dragon and some kind of celestial being. And you've seen his eyes before."
Squints.
Oh.
This is Baratheon.
Actually, saying that in well, it's not Hexenreich, but it's a dialect that's close enough that most of you would understand it.
You could pick it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually
You have very good eyes.
comment back to Gifton in Enochian. It seems they know that I am a dragon and that you are.
Oh no, they know I'm fake.
They believe you, Joe.
Oh, well,
They're
half right.
When sort of nudges his armored companion and goes, and they speak a language I don't understand, Lufa. An interesting group. Well then.
Them again. We have many interests, but if you do not worry about our weapons, I am more than willing to put them up no matter what. I don't know why I'm talking. Oh, that's right, because I'm stuck in Hexenreich mode.
If Lufa says there is no need, then there is no need. Although we may have some disagreements and grouchiness from the rest of the council, but still, it's best to make you feel welcome. Please follow me. And he's going to sort of like give a little bow again and gesture ahead with him as Lufa starts to turn and head off.
I'm gonna shrug and I'm gonna say Hexenreich friendly.
Right.
He's gonna belt himself then. The sword belt.
Right. As you all start to move off with the group, Keller looking very uncertain, staring at the skeletal figure. Beck seeming a little more relaxed, although there's that slight uneasiness.
I am going to say back, even though I know he can't understand me, don't judge books by their cover.
What language?
In Baratheon.
You don't know, they might understand brass. Yeah.
Well, Beck doesn't. I know Beck doesn't. I'm gonna look at anybody else to please iterate that on
Beck
for
will
me.
put that back to him in probably more of a Hexenrake idiom or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let me just roll something real quick.
Just looking at all this, it's like, okay, this is kind of normalish.
You hear, as you think this is kind of normalish, you hear the sort of typical, almost unsettling skeletal chuckle coming from Wilhelm.
Oh, the chatter.
Yeah, the chatter. As he overhears this, don't judge a book by its cover. And as you are led into the city by what looks like to be a small opening in the wall, not the large main gates, the armored figure removes their helmet, revealing basically ghostly blue flame in place of their head.
Can I make a roll?
Wow, that's really cool to Gifted.
I want to make a roll to figure out what that means.
Go for it.
Religion?
Religion or... Actually, it's undead, so I will take religion.
Okay. I will roll
Try to make a
religion.
roll on that too,
Yeah.
if I may.
Go for it. Anyone wants to roll, Ken?
Cass has no idea.
I'm going to keep the 22 because I'm guessing I'm probably
Still not doing great.
I mean,
Gifted's in wonderment mode. She's in a new place with new things, and she's she's got the wide-eyed look of "What's this?" the whole time.
Okay.
Someone took the helmet off and fire burst out. And, oh my god! What?
When they yell, does their fire get bigger?
Carrick and Shaxton, you're not actually entirely sure. This might be some kind of wraith, or maybe like a Dullahan. Telde, however, you know it's kind of both and neither. This is a rather unique specimen. You think it's far closer to a Dullahan, but those don't tend to be this sort of... They're frankly, they're evil. They're not affable. They don't talk. And this one talked.
Glad I had.
It is an honor to me.
Fine.
The shoulders turn, which is the only indication that they're actually looking towards you. A slight bobbing of the torso, as if they've learned naturally to like do head language through their whole body. As they sort of nod towards you. And goes, "Pleasure is mine."
That was the one that had the comment of language they
I'm sure
didn't
Talte's really just goes, "Oh, that's Steve." Good.
No,
5,000 years.
Wilhelm did a comment of they speak language with Tarnstead. This is the one that spotted that you're all rather quite powerful beings.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure which side would have that conversation when and which. So, okay. This place is full of...
Wait, so if they
What do you
drink
do?
wine, does the fire go out?
You're asking the important questions.
Wine is... But dipped in wine
Wilhelm
is
seems to be
flammable.
laughing more at that and actually relays this to his companion.
Or does the fire just get bigger? Because sometimes you have the really high content alcohol, it just goes whoosh,
and
it gets
it's
bigger, whoosh.
and as he's laughing, you're all let in that we're actually going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
I need to test a language
Alright.
barrier to next
Have a
week.
good night.
No,
Good
no.
night.
Hi, Marcus.
Everyone take a cool 3,000 experience points. 1 point of piety, and we will do this same time next week.